We're back. We're in Florida.
We're in Tito's garage.
Tito's garage. It's a little lonely without him here.
I know, it's kind of a bummer, but it's here right now. And yeah, Tito's out running a Harley-Davidson dealership in Western New York in the snow right now, and we're using El Tito's garage.
Yeah, we're down here in Florida. Flew in down here, going to go to the Rolex 20. Have you been to the Rolex 24 hour?
I have not been to the Rolex yet. We're thinking about it this year, but I think we're going to do a little bit of Moto and just keep just...
Yeah, just got to stay on the training program.
It's hard.
Can't really get off it.
This is my last year, man. Last year on the contract, so I gotta get locked in.
We're all in. We're all in. What have you been up to?
Just kind of trying not to travel. Nikki got her everything sorted.
I heard you got into a fight with one of the Diaz brothers. Is that true?
Oh yeah, we did that. You know, I'm kind of a model now. We did a little collaboration with Dark Sport and Harley Davidson, which comes out before this, or it'll come out before this pod. But that was pretty cool. Nate Diaz was there, and Andy Ruiz. But totally
say Andrew Tate.
No, they're totally different than what you expect. I guess maybe not Nate, but you could just feel like the eeriness. Like if you just bumped him, he would just absolutely drop you like a bad habit. Like I don't know. You know how those people, you just like walk around where you're like, man, like a joke could easily turn into like, you're dead.
Are you trying to hit you with any of those pouches? I always get Instagram ads of him.
I bought some.
Off of him?
No. I bought some, but I didn't put correlate it. They're like ultra pouches or whatever. We're not sponsored. But I bought some because they are caffeine, because I can't do nicotine because it just wipes me.
Yeah.
And then, but it's not really caffeine. It's like a new, I don't know, something in the ether. What have you been doing, dude? You've been at Chuckwalla. I've
just been at Chuckwalla for pretty much the last month of my life, it feels like.
You've been building. I saw you last time we were in. We had Sush down in Venice Beach with Guard and Arch.
Spent some time at Arch. We're getting things rolling for the season. It's been a lot of work. Racing always seems to, everyone always says you have so much time, and then January 1st hits and then all of a sudden you have no time. So that's kind of where we're at. We got a lot to do.
42 days.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, we got a lot to do. So yeah, I've been really busy with that. We did some testing, Chuckwalla, a little CVMA, made a little bit of rent money.
Yeah, I saw that.
Was
You've
good.
been dominating. You got a new partner, new tire partner?
Big Pirelli guy now.
Are you fast?
Dude, worth the second at least. I would
No
say.
way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I know. I liked them. Side of the tire stuff.
Yeah, the front tire is really good. But yeah, so that's been fun.
Cool.
Been racing the Ducati. Got a new bike. It's like showroom stock. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, dude. I think that thing looks sweet.
It is. It's pretty crazy how good it is. Cam Bobier was out there. He was riding one. He was in the 44s on a stock bike.
Stop.
Street stock. Like headlights, mirrors.
Is that faster than you?
No, but it's close.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
How good is that?
He was like this. I've never ridden a bike like this off the showroom floor.
Does that scare you? Prediction time? Do you think he loses?
Doesn't scare me, fortunately, but I would be scared if I was everyone else. That's for sure. I think he's just gonna. I think the only person that's gonna beat Cameron this year is Cameron.
Yeah, crashing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think that bike is pretty forgiving. So we'll see.
Okay.
Cam P was out there. Joe Roberts was out there. You were out there. I heard you're on the Arch Killer. You want to talk about that at all?
Dude, I can't talk about it. It's top secret.
Top secret.
You'll see it at Daytona when it goes by absolutely everybody on the straightaway.
It was actually good because now our guys are looking for some more power. So.
They better.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw when you rode your stock bike. I was like, "Are you gonna get on the gas, dude?"
Yeah. So we're doing some digging. But yeah. Anyways, that's about it, Jimmy. We're here. We got a few days down here. We're doing a couple pods. Stoked for that. It's been a little while. We've been kind of slacking for sure, but
you keep saying that, but we haven't been slacking. There's a pod in the pipe that we can't drop yet, and we're not going to say it, but we've got a really cool pod that's going to come out.
It's an escrow.
Just getting some final approvals. It's a really cool one with some great people. You know them, and kind of the reason why.
Are you talking to me? Or are you talking?
Yeah,
they know them.
No, you know them.
Oh yeah,
right. Like, but it's not out yet. We need some final approvals from the big dogs up top.
Yeah.
The
No, that'll be an
suits.
exciting one. So, but today we've got a.
You want me to drop it?
Yeah, drop it.
All right, dude. Today on Pipe Dream.
Know.
Yeah, dude, this is a good one. They call him Mr. Three-Peat. Today on Pipe Dreams, we're joined by Kody Kopp, already a 3-time Progressive American flat track champion and the winningest rider in class in history. Kody has transformed his legacy as the son of 2000 Grand National champion Joe Kopp into his own dominant era on dirt. From a standout amateur career to back-to-back-to-back titles in the pros, he's proven himself as one of the most talented riders in the sport, and now he's making the leap in the premier Mission AFT Super Twins class for 2026 with Lattice Motors racing on a Harley-Davidson XG750R. Kody Kopp, welcome to Pipe Dreams.
Yeah, boys, pretty pumped. I've just been watching all the episodes, never got on. Finally here. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, that's been kind of on purpose, dude. We've been just waiting for you to become of age. You know what I mean?
You'd have your parents sign off to get you
Yeah.
on here. So
First time I don't have to sign a minor.
I'm surprised every time we go to PAX, they don't ask me to sign that for you.
Quite honestly, we were talking about it all year last year, but kept having kind of rough weekends. So we kind of said maybe not the best time to get them on.
Yeah, last year wouldn't have been the time.
Yeah, I know. We were always like, hey, we'll do it after the weekend. We'll do it after. And I'm like, hey, we ain't doing it, dude, this
Hey, we're
weekend.
27 seconds off
This
the podium. Let's keep the pods to a minimum.
This guy just high-sided himself silly at a barber. We're not. I don't think he's seeing straight.
He high-sided a 30 horsepower.
On the warm-up, didn't even get to make it to
Dude,
the
it was
grid.
the wet familiarization.
8 minutes, fucking high-sided himself silly.
Oh, sorry.
I was
man.
red in those sectors, though, man.
Famous last words, dude. Famous last words.
Honestly, man, it's good to have you on the podcast, and I mean, it's been a long time coming. But what have you been doing this off season? I know you've kind of, like this off season's been a little bit different for you. You've gone back home. Last year, you bought a house, but you've been back home with family in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, January 2025, I bought a house here in DeLand. So I'm pretty much neighbors with you. We get to see all the time, and yeah, it's been good. I love being in Florida, but kind of needed a reset after last year and try and figure out plans and everything. And it's a lot easier to do that with Dad and I in the same room together than on the phone. He's pretty busy with his own business aside from racing, and so it's a lot easier to do the dirty work of building the team and stuff with him and myself in the same room. So I went home, did that, had a little reset, lots of mountain bikes, lots of just fun things to do, like being a kid with all my buddies who came home from college and what they're all doing in life, and half of them are married, blah, blah, blah. So just kind of getting to live that I haven't got to live the last 3 off seasons really, and good reset really, and came back here early January, and been full at it with you and with everybody and putting in the work, and excited for 2026 because we finally get to jump up to a big bike.
Going back to dirt, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's the big news.
The big news finally dropped. Back to dirt.
No road racing at all. Calling it a day.
I'm not gonna call it a day. I'll go do a track day. I'll go do whatever. I still want to do it. Like I don't fully write that off. I still would love to go try some different things. I just don't want to ride a Kramer again.
Yeah, we got to get you on a big bike.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting series and how that whole thing came about. But what did you like about it?
Like that got me into it?
Well, just what about road racing interests you?
Yeah, I mean, in 2020, Daryl Jones, who was the first kind of team sponsor of mine when I went to American Flat Track on the Hondas, he had some 400s. His son Cam Jones, he's won some Junior Cup races, and he's really big in that paddock. And so he had some 400s and 300s, and we were doing some track days like at Jennings, and we went Jennings. We went all the way up to Barber for a couple Dunlop tire tests. Tried a mixed. I think it was a slick front wet rear. Or we did something weird, and I was crashing my brains out at Barber.
I wouldn't recommend that.
But I had fun that preseason doing that before I went pro in American Flat Track, and then we just fully stopped it. And so then there was always that question mark in the back of my mind. Like, wasn't, I don't think, terrible back then on a 400 or something, which is a lot easier, I think, to ride than that Kramer. And so it was just always a question mark in the back of my mind. And then all of a sudden last off season, we were trying to go Super Twins racing in the end of 2024 after I won my 3rd title. And we were trying to move up to Super Twins, and got a random call one day from a Lake Havasu phone number, and it was the King, Kenny, and he asked if I wanted to go road racing. And I was kind of at a point, I don't know, It's hard to explain. After my 3 titles, I almost got content with what I was doing. And almost started getting lazy in a way. Like I needed something new, something fresh, because when I first started with Red Bull KTM in 22, I was doing every bit of my program. I was doing all the work. And as I started winning more and more and more titles and more race wins and having more success, and it almost just like I almost expected it of myself, and I got lazy with like putting in the work on the side of it. So it was getting harder to do it, but I didn't notice that from the outside. And yeah, I just expected myself to be able to win almost every weekend. And by the end of 24, it was like I needed a reset, something to honestly humble me. It was really good. And for this opportunity with Kenny that came about at the end of last year, I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Like something fresh. I'm not supposed to go out here and win. Yeah, I'm 6 years older than all these kids. I should have more bike ability than them, I would think, or you would think maybe, or that was what it was posed to be, but it wasn't like that. It was a good year to get my butt kicked, honestly. Every weekend. I mean, Road America were 27 seconds off the win, and I was like, there's no way any of these kids can ride a motocross bike or a flat track bike as good as me. How are they doing this? And yeah, it was frustrating, but then the next day we were in the lead pack 6/10 off the win. Like just, there was good weekends, there was bad weekends. We crashed a lot. I sent a lot of suits back to Alpine Star to get fixed, a lot of airbags. And honestly, just had a fun year getting to hang out with Kenny and Junior, and yeah, Arnie and Amy Wick that really were a big part of that team. And honestly, without them, we wouldn't have been able to do it every weekend. And then, yeah, just honestly, it was really hard to secure something to move up at the end of last year, to move up to a bigger bike on the asphalt. We were trying. I talked with a lot of people, but honestly, I'm a racer and I want to make racing my job, and that's what I want to do for my life. I never want to have a 9 to 5. That's my goal. And all these, it was a big buy-in type of scene to me, and I'm not used to that. And I just refuse to buy to race is the way I look at it. It's not me racing for a job if I have to pay for it type thing, or sponsors pay for it, but it's technically me paying for a ride. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll keep working on that craft in the background. Maybe one day it comes back. Who knows? Maybe not ever again. Maybe I just drive my shifter cart at Bushnell instead of my Supermoto. But yeah, nothing came about, and no hard feelings with anything. I mean, I didn't want to ride the Kramer again, that's for sure. And then honestly, just kind of something fell into my lap with George Latis and Dave Zanotti and Michelle DeSalvo and everybody involved in that program, Bob Lamford. Like,
just plug and play almost.
It was just plug and play in a way, and got to test the bike literally within 4 days after the Talent Cup season was over. And
so you already been on it?
Yeah, we've been on it a lot. Got to test it right after the.
You didn't see the video, dude?
No.
Daytona, we dropped
You
it.
didn't see the video, dude? He just posted a big video of him.
Look it up.
Yeah, dude.
We
Like,
dropped it.
He looks almost as good as I did on that bike.
It's
basically your bike.
No,
Is it still the same bike?
No. I mean, there's probably some pieces.
It's still a Harley.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we just 4 or 5 days after the Talent Cup season was over, I was on the bike. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't have anything signed,
Oh, that's cool.
but I was just like,
With the 3s on it.
yeah, I did actually have 3s on
Just
it.
basically just stole Breyer's ride, huh?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No hard feelings there on my end.
Jimmy, we forgot.
I know. We're going to come back. We're going to circle back.
You want to do it now?
Sure, if you want to. We can just cut them off.
Yeah, we'll just cut them off. We'll go
All
back.
right. Hey, we'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just a quick break. A word from our
Commercial break.
sponsors.
Oh, man. Can you tell we suck at this? So as always, we have amazing partners, but 3 big partners of ours: Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. A motorcycle incident isn't something that you ever anticipate, but you should always be prepared in the event that something does happen. If you or you know somebody is injured in a motorcycle accident, always call Law Tigers first. The service is at no cost to the riders, and they fight to get riders back on the road and take care of. With Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Yuasa Batteries, the most trusted battery in power sports since 1979. For over 45 years, Yuasa has delivered power, reliability, and passion at every turn. Yuasa supplies power sports batteries to more OEMs and riders than all competitors combined in the U.S. and globally. The reason is simple: premium quality, unmatched reliability, long life, and advanced engineering with years of application expertise. Yuasa setting the standard for power sports batteries since 1979. Each and every day starts with Yuasa. Find your battery at your local Yuasa retailer via yuasabatteries.com.
We've got Gulf Point Advisors, a forward-thinking wealth advisory firm. Founded in 2016, Gulf Point Advisors is a New Orleans-based boutique investment firm led by longtime listener Tris Millard, helping clients nationwide get on track with their financial goals, whether it's investing, planning for the future, or just making smarter money decisions. Tris has been a listener to the pod for a while and reached out after hearing some of our conversations about the financial side of racing, the highs, the regrets, and the wish I had invested sooner moments. He wanted to support what we're building here while also offering his expertise to our audience. The best part is Tris understands racers and racing. He knows the thrill of burning through a set of fresh tires on the weekend, and he's not here to judge. He's here to help you make sure your money is working as hard as you do. And so if you have any financial questions or want to learn more about the benefits of professional money management, call our good friend Tris at 603-731-3230 or email tris@gulfpointadvisors.com. Gulf Point Advisors, investing with purpose. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC and Gulf Point Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial. That's a wrap on all our sponsors, Jimmy. Thanks to them. And
Hold up.
Sorry. Whoa. We got the new tees as well. Can't forget about those. They've been out for a little bit. We're almost sold out. But yeah, that's our new Pipe Dreams Death Row Meal Tees. Been out for a little bit on pipedreamspod.com/merch. Head over to the link and pick one up. We really appreciate it. And it's always fun. I actually saw a few people at the track this weekend wearing them.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get out there. I think we need to continue to push a little bit more, but I'm stoked, right? Like, I think as we go more and more into this, I know we always say, but we can't thank you guys for sharing and liking and watching everything. I mean, we get more and more comments, which is a little bit of a shame, because I thought my racing career was actually decent, but we get more comments about the pod than I do my racing career at the moment. So we honestly, it's been awesome. It really helps us kind of keep every single show going is you guys promoting and buying the merch. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone. And Jimmy, don't be so hard on yourself, man. Not everyone's factory like you.
You are.
Not us little guys, right,
not
Cody?
Us right here.
Yeah.
Not
Struggling along.
But
sorry to cut you off, but yeah, so I'm curious on the road racing front before you get into too much of this year's stuff, what's coming up rather. What do you think was like the hardest part like for you? I know obviously from the outside looking in, you're just way too big for that bike, but was it actually like, I know talking to James a little bit, just there were some struggles, I think, just like getting some feel and confidence. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things was we were promised from Kramer they were going to be here end of the year, early January. We didn't get them until a week before Coda. I mean, for me to take that risk, that was my goal, was I was going to have 2 months of Bushnell and Jennings and all that to try and get comfortable. And instead I'm riding an NSF 250, which is even smaller at Jennings. And that was a big thing, was when they didn't come through on that end of it with whatever was going on. It honestly made it really hard for me to want to go race at Coda for my first weekend. So it was like just not enough bike time to start the year, and then just playing catch up all year. Cause yeah, I get everybody had the same pot to deal with. Like we all had the same situation with getting the bikes late, but they were all road racers before, or they had background. So I needed that more than anything. I felt like to even be close. And aside from that, it was just, the size thing was killing me. Like
the weight.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know if it was ever really put out there. There was a weight rule that was supposed to be a rider bike weight rule, kind of like go-karts, and
combined.
Never happened.
Never happened. It was put in for a session, and I think it got took out a session after.
Oh, yeah, because you had to have been what, like 50 pounds heavier than the smallest kid.
Easily.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, what was
8 inches taller.
Drain? Like Drain must have been 100 pounds.
If that, Tom's I think 110 maybe. Maybe I'm sorry,
insane.
Tom, if I'm wrong, but yeah, like his little brother Sam, he's even smaller than him. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, the weight thing was huge because, just as you know, Corey, like us moving our shoulders back, let alone changes how a bike performs with how much more like mobility we have with the length of our body and the weight where it is. And yeah, putting stuff in the wrong area really made it hard on me. Like even when we're riding supermotos, when I was trying to learn down at Bushnell with James all preseason, that was what I was doing for prep. And dude, just the simple things like where my head's supposed to be and where my butt's supposed to be, just learning all that then I get on the Kramer, and the first few days the thing's chattering its teeth off. Like, I don't know, it was different. I mean, honestly, I wish I had 2 months prior leading up, just two, even a month, but 2 months of just straight work on it not to dial the bike in or anything, just to get comfortable. And we did a change at Mid-Ohio. My dad built some little steel plates, these little triangles that moved the gas tank is like the seat under the rear, under your butt, and that's the tank. So we moved the seat back 2 inches, and that made my legs not go numb after a lap on the bike because I was so cramped up on the bike. Literally, I couldn't tell when I'm dragging brake. All of a sudden, I'd grab an upshift, like I'd click it down, just because my legs were going tingly after a minute or two of being on the bike, that cramped up. And so we made this little, they didn't look pretty, these little brackets, and got my first podium, and then we got DQ'd for the brackets. But I mean, just comfort. That was the only thing that did was comfort it and change how the bike worked. And I was instantly happier on it and felt better and had more room. So yeah, that. And then honestly, just there is a little bit of electronics to deal with it, and I'm not making excuses. I
know I rode it. I rode the bike at Bushnell. It's fucking horrendous. The bike is so bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
SDK rode it too.
Like I'm not here to talk whatever, but whoever signed off on that, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got a bad rap. I'm curious to see what even happens this year. It seems like
dude, you roll off the gas and the thing just like bzzz, like you can't stop. It's it's like whoever made the map like just made it flat
and it's locked.
You can't even change under braking.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then you go.
No,
you're in the
say you
fast
can
map,
change it 8 different ways. There's -4 to +4.
Doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do a thing.
Wow.
If you go to the throttle, the hit is so bad.
It's like almost an electric throttle, like I ride a Stark. It's got a little bit of, I know you know electric, but just kind of the earlier electric bikes, they have that tiny bit of delay you can feel. That's not gas.
It's not connected to your hand.
I mean, and to be honest, Corey, this would take one day with somebody experienced to just fix it. Like somebody with a good electronics guy, just go, yep, no problem. Like you could fix it.
Yeah.
It was very, very
Like I rode it in the main rain map at Bushnell all the time because it was softer and it was a smoother throttle pickup. And
yeah, it's
the company's pretty much done now, though, right? Like there's really no I know the guy Jensen that was running. I think he's now at the electric bike company.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Ride Benell or whatever, maybe. Or
Light Fighter.
Light Fighter. That's there's so many electric companies now.
That's crazy. Life Fighter looks crazy.
Yeah,
it looks good though, to be honest. But I don't feel like you give it. I don't think if that's your road race career, you gave it a real shot.
No, not at all.
Like
you would have been great on like a honestly stock 1000 would have been perfect for you.
Yeah,
because you know how to slide the bike. You already know 4-stroke. You know power. Like
Ashton Yates, team owner Daryl Jones. He's really close family friend, almost like a second father to me. We've joked about it, just sending it out on a track day. Let's go try it. So
to be honest, dude, like in the off season, I don't know where everything was, but when Trent won that Springfield Mile on the Honda, I just hoped you were gonna ride a Honda and then be able to ride
both
a 1000, like one of old Ashton's bike, because the bike's good. He's the same height. You could literally jump on it, and I'm like, that would be the perfect storm.
Yeah,
it's all right. We're gonna get him on.
I don't know if
he's gonna go block for Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't know if Dad will be super pumped that I say this, but yeah, we middle of last year, mid-season, I ordered Honda frames, J&M Honda frames, Transalps for flat track. And that was our plan originally because I didn't have anything going with Harley and with George and everybody, and I thought Briar was locked in there, so I was gonna build my own team with Daryl. And so they're sitting. They're still in the cardboard box they came in. They're just sitting at home in Michael, Washington, and maybe one day we'll tackle them. But yeah, that was kind of the goal. We were joking around about maybe some stock 1000 things and super twins on a Honda. But obviously we're riding Harleys with George, and I'm really excited that I don't really have to do the R&D of the Honda. I don't think it's bad, but I think Dad's career was really built around proving bikes that weren't supposed to do what they did. And that's what a lot of people respect him for. And it was huge. Like, dude, he won on so many different brands and put so many different brands in flat track. But I don't want to spend years doing that to do those elusive wins here and there and keep developing. He loved it. I do enjoy it, but I want to win championships. If it's easier to have a turnkey program like this with George and not have to sit and do development all preseason, we're just testing clutches and stuff like that, I'd rather do that and know that when we show up at Daytona, I'm going to be ready than spend a whole off season and show up and our throttle's having an issue or something random.
Yeah.
I think that just goes to show though, like where you're, and I think we can get into this later, but what your mentality has shifted. and I would love to know where that came from, but middle of the year last year, already prepping for this year with having nothing, like your mentality is like, how do I get back to, you know, a program that's good, but also like, I mean, pulling triggers like that is pretty big without having anything.
Yeah, like last year I took a huge risk, like as far as I was making a living doing what I was doing in flat track on a single, a comfortable living, and then I took a risk, and literally last year I just had my personal sponsors like helmet deals and stuff, and they were all contingency based. Like if I won or podiumed, I was gonna make money last year. Well, that never happened. So then on top of that, to be buying frames and stuff and looking towards next year, and that's coming out of myself. And I just bought a house at the beginning of the year. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be broke in 2025 by the end of the year, but it's the risk you got to take. I know you have a story just a lot more gnarly than that, like where you were at a point, and everybody does if you're a racer. But yeah, no, it was so good for me, honestly, and it made me hungry. Like honestly, I'm pumped.
Do you think like taking the year off of flat track and then watching kind of stuff has changed in flat track, I feel like in the last couple of years? Are you nervous about that coming back, like the state of the series, I guess?
Not necessarily. Yeah, it was hard, honestly. Like last year, all preseason, if we would have the Kramer earlier, I wouldn't have raced Daytona. But literally, we didn't have it before Daytona, so I was like, gonna go try and make some money at the short track, and we went out and won both singles races. And then after that, I sat and watched all year, did Peoria. But watching all year, it was like all of a sudden the twins class was racy, like for the first time in a while. I mean, Indian came in and dominated for forever with that great FTR 750, but after that's gone, now it's more production-based motors and production rules, a lot less electronics involved, and it's made it racy. Like for Trent to go out and win a Springfield mile, and at certain races you have kids running up front all throughout the day. Yeah, they don't have the main event longevity pace, but they're killing it. They're all of a sudden racy with them, and it's cool to see with Dallas and with Breyer. Like kids like one of my best friends, Logan McGrain, dude, he's up there with them at Chico, California, second on qualifying that day. Like that doesn't just happen with the way the rules were a few years ago. So it's made it more equal. And flat track, it's no secret that we don't have the budgets that road racing teams do, let alone like Supercross or anything else in America. Like I guess most teams don't. And yeah, for it to happen like that and have these small teams all of a sudden be able to compete, it's cool to see. Because I honestly, I'm a believer. There's nothing cooler than watching a pack of twins or singles go around a mile. Like with the right videographer there, you can make that the coolest thing people would see. We just don't have that.
Yeah. Would you say that it's easier to find an opportunity in flat track? I mean, obviously your resume in flat track's a bit more extensive, so it's probably easier for you specifically. But like knowing a little bit more about road racing and obviously flat track, like, could you compare the two in terms of trying to find a ride or making a living, I guess? Yeah,
I mean, I know at the top of MotoAmerica, like if you're Cam or those guys, or obviously the baggers are doing great. I mean, every class really is, but if you're at the top, the premier class, it's great. When you're winning, you're making money, just like it is in any sport. Flat track is the same way. Everybody gives AFT crap for the purses, whatever. If you're winning, you're making good money, no matter what class you're in. And
I mean, there's 18 weekends.
Yeah, dude, 18 weekends is $7,500 alone just from American flat track for the twins race, like for the winner of the twins race. Like you have a dash, you have a mission dash for cash. There's plenty of money to be made in flat track. But no, I'd say it was for me easier to get a ride in flat track for sure, just because of my resume. And honestly, Dad's a huge part of it. Like George is, in a way, he's kind of Dad's dad figure, almost my grandpa in a way to our family, and he always has been like that. And so that was a good kind of niche we found there, and like we really all gel well together. And so it was easier for me to do that than to have somebody write a check for me to ride on a team in road racing, I think.
The thing is, I also think dirt track's still in a phase where like road racing's it's almost car racing in a way where you're like, hey, it's whatever, $12,000 a weekend, and like it's cut and dry. It's $12,000 a weekend. Whereas in dirt track, you're like, hey, if you bring tires and fuel, I've got a bike you can ride.
Yep.
Like it's completely a different mentality when it comes for teams, and because I feel like it's been brought up on everybody just building stuff like almost like the hooligan, where it's like everybody's out of a van, out of a truck, builds them in their garage kind of mentality where, I mean, my whole career in dirt track, nobody's ever like, hey man, I need I need 2,500 this weekend. I need $5,000. It was always, hey, if you bring tires and fuel and pay your entries, like, dude, we're good. Like, show up, let's go.
Bring
like,
some number plates.
Yeah, like it was always that way. And I still, to this day, I don't think it's changed much at the, 5 to 15 level,
Yep.
right? Maybe the top 1 to 5, they're, I've heard budgets 250, 300,000. Like they're quite extensive budgets for them. But when you start coming in, like for when I went back to dirt track, like that's exactly what it was. With Terry Reimer was like, hey man, you show up, like bike's yours. Okay. Like I would have never had that in dirt track or in road racing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's kind of how it is. Like I have buddies that do that same thing. And I mean, Dave Waters is a great example of it. He'll do that for kids that want a shot from the West Coast to come out to Daytona. He's got, I think I just seen on Facebook the other day, like 5 450s with no graphics on them, just waiting for kids to call him, and yeah, they might have to give him $500 or whatever, pay for gas, tires, entries, all that. But it's how it works. So you get your shot a lot cheaper, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's probably a little bit less risky from a team owner's perspective versus road racing.
Yeah.
Right. But I do wish there was a way you could do something like that. I mean, and I think the Kramer thing
could have
if it wasn't.
I know we talked about trying to run our own team, like and buy a bike or put some kit on it because
do like a Pipe Dreams crowdfunded kind of deal.
Yeah, the windshields are $400.
No, but exactly though. Like for us to do it in dirt track, it would be simple.
Oh,
it would be so easy for us to do like a Pipe Dreams, buy a bike, and then just have somebody show up. But in road racing, it's very expensive. Like truck this, it's like what the hell.
Yeah.
But the other thing is on the dirt or on the road race side of things, what was the like biggest thing for you that you struggled with mentally, doing it, right?
Dirt track road
no,
racing?
in road racing, like that year. I still want to just kind of go through that road racing because I feel like you didn't have any time. You went to Coda, it rained, and then you had a dry session. I mean, you didn't really ride the bike that much.
No.
And your testing was not very...
Yeah, we weren't testing anything. We were just riding.
So like mentally, where did your where did the mental switch happen?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Coda, you look at photos, I look like an idiot out there, like just form in general. And obviously we talked a lot, like you and me and even Corey, like just on where my body should be being that much bigger on the bike to make it a little easier. And I mean, if I just had more time on it, I feel like we could have started there. But the mental kind of block in a way was, I had the thing all year that I wish I had more time, It was really hard. Flat track, you can go to these tracks, $300, you have the track for the day. Road racing, it's a lot more. Or a track day even is a lot more, and tires are a lot more, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't really have all that time in those weeks off and in between once we had the Kramer. That was kind of I guess not my excuse, but kind of what was making me struggle a little bit mentally. Like just showing up again 4 weekends later and I'm racing the same bike. I haven't rode it since. And between that and I guess just the side of me that I have a lot of self-belief. Like I believe in myself and my ability to ride a motorcycle in general, just 2 wheels. And I think I can do anything I put my mind to, but like, I couldn't get past the fact that I can ride a motocross bike and I can ride a flat track bike and I can ride a mountain bike and all these things pretty well. I feel like myself, it's something I've worked on a lot in my career is to be well-rounded, but I know these kids can't. Like they're riding XR100s. They're at that age where I was at that age. I was riding XR100s instead of a 450 around packs. And I'm like, dude, why are they able to get through the chatter or get through this better than me? And that was a big thing. I was just like beating myself up about it. I couldn't figure it out. And I'd say the biggest switch you could see on track physically, Road America, day one, I'm 28 seconds off the lead win with Alessandro or whoever won it. And sat in bed that night where we were staying, and I'm watching this video of PJ around the carousel, and the thing is chattering its brains out, and he's still on the gas. I'm like, what the heck? Like, for me, when it's chattering, the front tire thing was I didn't trust it all the time. Just being a dirt tracker, you always want it pushing, but when it pushes on a Kramer, it's down that quick. And I I watched PJ around the carousel, some video he posted, and the thing's chattering its brains out. And I'm like, oh, he's on the gas. I'm like zooming in, watching it 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. Next morning, I'm chattering through the carousel. Next morning, I'm just wicked through there. And the thing's like actually wanting to high side me now because it has, honestly, the suspension was terrible on them. We found, like, you find, when we got them brand new, they had bits and pieces broken in them already. But like, suspension's terrible, so it's already not doing what it's supposed to. Go around the carousel wide open, like first few laps, and all of a sudden I'm on pace to possibly win. Like, that whole race, it was just figuring out, that was the warm up on Sunday, and it was cold and I was doing it, and then took me a lap or two. I about got dropped and made my way back to the front pack, and I can't remember what we got, 5th or 6th, but we were in that draft across the line. Like, I came off the final corner on their wheels, and I'm like, 27 seconds, that's a lot. Like, that was my switch. And it got closer and closer. We got to test. Mid-Ohio was a big one because I got to test there a month before, or whatever it was, the rule. Did a track day there. And for me, just new tracks was a big thing. Like, new sport, but new tracks in general, having to learn. You go over this hill, you're actually supposed to be leaning to the left type thing. So I got to test it, Mid-Ohio, or ride. We didn't test anything. And that was big because we started the weekend at Mid-Ohio, like, on pace. And yeah, we weren't great when it was dry. Like, those kids are unreal. Like, honestly, they're very talented, the kids at the front of that class. Hank, Alessandro, Bodie, Sam, they're great. And I wasn't. So when it rained a little bit, I finally had my shot again, and down the end of the back straight, I was just going around the outside of Alessandro every lap because he'd get me everywhere else where it's tight and techy. But that's just the part of let off the brake. And I was like, dude, what's the worst that can happen? I'm in the grass. Like, we're going to send it. And it worked out, but then we got our podium snagged from us. Just a little DQ, my first DQ.
But like, was there any pressure? Because, I mean, 3-time champ, Kenny Roberts, the team look, the factory Alpine Stars. I mean, was there, I mean, you say, hey, there's no pressure, but I mean, you know you're who you are.
Yeah.
Was there pressure?
Oh, for sure. Like, if there wasn't pressure, I was putting pressure on myself because I knew how many people were involved and they were taking a risk on me, just like I was taking a risk on my own career. I'd say the most pressure was at Coda, at GP. Debut, first ever time I'm going to get the lights go out on a road race bike ever, first ever real start. And it's in front of the GP crowd. I'm like, yeah, sweet, this is awesome. Literally have 2 days on the bike prior to that, and I'm just going for it. And yeah, no, I mean, there was pressure, but as the season went on, like, I had a good relationship with Kenny. Kenny and Arnie are really good friends. And Junior became a big role on the team as well. He's a lot more in tune with the current road racing world. Everybody knows Kenny's a little more old school on it and how he looks at it. Always want me to, like, point and shoot the Kramer and whatever, and you know. But yeah, it's I had pressure for sure. But as we got more into the year, it was just like, yeah, I was there to try and prove myself, but we were just having fun. Like, we got to a point we realized what we were dealt with the Kramer, and I think everybody accepted it, and there was so much involvement from outside people on this team that you can't just up and leave it. Like, yeah, there was days, dude, after day 1 at MotoAmerica, I wanted to be done. I didn't want to come back Sunday. Like, I'm like, this ain't for me. I'll be done. I'll go back to flat track. Because for a couple of weekends, I was still leading points after winning both Daytonas. I'm like, I'll go try a 4th title.
Yeah.
And, or I was at least close enough that I knew I could come back and probably win it. And, yeah, no, we didn't. We stuck it out, and I think that's respectable. And honestly, we had fun. Like, I talked to Kenny a lot. Like, he's a really good friend now, and that's such a cool thing. Not many people have that, both Kenny and Junior, and everybody that was involved in that. Like, just the friendships that were built from it. And yeah, Kenny, he's not involved in flat track with my program, but we're still really good buddies. Like, I'll probably go up when they're racing at Barber and go hang out with Kenny. Like, cool. That he lives in Barber, like, or he lives in Birmingham. So no, it's really cool. I'd say there was pressure to start the year, but by the end of the year, we were just showing up having fun.
Yeah. How much of like, did you learn anything from this year that you'll take back into flat track? Was there anything you actually got from it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, if I've learned anything, there was a lot of aggression. Like, flat track, I don't know. You'll watch videos or whatever on YouTube. Especially my 3rd championship year, Tom and Chase were really good that year, and I'd kind of sit back and let them wear each other out. Like, honestly, I'm pretty good with both of them. Like, Chase and I, I'd say we're good buddies. Tom and I'd say are close as well. We don't hate each other, but those two don't get along great, and you could see that on track every main event, every weekend. And so there's like Bridgeport when I got my 20th career win. Dude, I I had the pace to win. I won the dash, fast qualified that day, whatever. But we got off the line, and I think Tom ran me all the way up to the air fence, and I was like, all right, we'll let these two duke it out. And for 6 of the 8 minutes, I sat back in 4th and 5th, and I knew the high line still had water on it, and I'm like, all right, we'll run around the top, and got it with 3 laps to go and dropped them. And yeah, it was just like almost more mentally that year was my ticket, I'd say. And I'd say from road racing, though, I just learned aggression. Like, I need that, especially in the twins class. I mean, you watch Breyer and Dallas and B-Rob and these guys, how they ride a twin. It's not how it was a couple of 10, 15 years ago. They're aggressive. Like, they're riding these things hard and pushing each other and bumping and whatever. And I need to have that. Like, if there's anything I lack, I'm not a super aggressive rider. I'm pretty clean. And not saying I want to be dirty and do digs to Anstey at San Diego. I'm not going to brake slide or brake check somebody. But I just need to throw it in on people. Like, I need that. And I'm on a bigger bike now. It's a lot heavier. It's designed to go in an oval and in a circle. It's not a 450 KTM that's meant to be on a motocross track. It's designed to go on a flat track. And yeah, I'm getting used to it, but I'm ready to be aggressive on it when I have to be. I mean, Dallas is stout, dude. Like, he's the champ. I'm not. I'm number 12 again. Like, it's a fresh start again, and these guys are aggressive. I'm ready.
And did you learn that in road racing, the aggression? Is it because like the lap times you're trying to fight for tenths every single lap, or what's the aggression?
Just these kids that like turn their brain off, like
and just send it.
Bodie and Sam, like especially Bodie.
Yeah,
he crashes a lot, but the kid's very talented, and dude, he just sends it in the unknown. Like VIR for him to do, like he passed me down the front straightaway in like, I think Q2, and I knew where we were all braking. We were a couple sessions into the weekend, and he breaks like 4 markers later. I'm like,
it's on video.
Yeah, no, and he flies by me off into the grass. But just to be able to do that as a kid, and then he picks it up, goes in the pits, comes back out, goes P1. I'm like, dude,
what?
How?
Yeah.
That's so funny you say that though, because I feel like flat track is the opposite. That was like when I tried to race flat track, that was the hardest part. It was like you guys just go out and you have 4 laps or whatever to get up to pace. You don't know what the track's like. It changes every single time you ride. It's actually pretty interesting that's like the thing you got from it, because I feel like that's like coming from flat track, that would be the one thing you would have.
Yeah, I think more so just because of the young kids. Like if I would have raced
fearless.
More fearless. Like you guys actually look like you show respect on the track in your classes and into turn 1 a little more than I'd say us young kids did this year, especially at the front. Those guys were going for it. I just got to watch it from the back most of the time, going on the straightaway, not being in the draft. But yeah, no, I'd say that was a big thing I learned was, and I took as a note that I'm working on this offseason. I'm working on a moto track with random people I've never met.
Just bumping into people?
Not bumping into people, but like I'm trying to cross under and like throw a wheel under them and not move them out of the way with pushing them, but literally just spook them out of the way type thing.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
All right, should we go into a Lot Tigers tech tip?
Yeah, why not?
I just think we always go a little bit late.
Where are we at?
We're at 45 minutes.
Let's do it.
Fine.
I know, it's crazy. We only done one thing.
We got 6 hours left.
It's going to be pretty big. But as you know, you've listened to the pod.
Yeah, I listen to them all.
And you've come from a racing history with your dad being in racing. And I mean, you've grown up at the track. So out of all those years, winning championships, kind of, racing through the amateurs, being there as a kid at the pro races with your dad, what would you say you've learned or you could give our audience, as like a tech tip or something they can get from Lot Tigers?
Yeah, I mean, use the tools. It's our joke. It was a day in South Dakota, and I wasn't using my switch on my bars on a 450. And Dad told me to use my tools that are in my toolbox. And sure enough, I used my tools the next race, and I was riding great. Just flipping a quick mapping switch. So using your tools, I'd say, is the biggest thing. What you have available to you, whether that's an air, like a tire pressure gauge, checking your tire pressure, don't be lazy. Or I mean, just the simplest things like, dude, if you have a bent lever, use your tools, fix that stuff. Like, make yourself comfortable. And if you have somebody there helping you, like, use your tools. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you have it available to you, don't be afraid to use it.
Okay, so what you have available, use everything around you. Don't be lazy. Try things.
Don't be the quiet one that you come off the bike and you don't want to say that it's too soft or something. Don't be afraid to say something and use the ability you have to change it and make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people just ride their bikes, and bikes are pretty good now, so you feel like
Yeah.
bikes are better than you, but you definitely could be more comfortable for sure. Always.
There's so many bikes that I jump on and levers are like this or like this, and it's like the easiest thing. It's 2 bolts. You just like certain things where you're like comfort. And no, that's a good one. Use the tools in this toolbox. That's from Law Tigers, our America's motorcycle lawyers. A motorcycle incident isn't something you ever anticipate, but you should always be prepared in the event something happens. Call Law Tigers. If you or anybody else is in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
So, I mean, I feel like something that people don't really understand, especially James, because he's on the smaller side, but how hard is it at your size to fit on a bike, even a flat track bike? Like, are there things you have to change on that too?
Yeah, no, I mean...
Even the 450s, you look big.
Yeah. My rookie year, I was tall. I don't think, barely 6 foot yet in 2021.
Yeah, how tall are you?
My driver's license says 6'3". We're going to have to stand up and check.
I don't know, dude.
You're still growing,
I'm
right?
at least 6'2". I hope I'm done. Anyways, so I'm over 6 foot. Like, I'm one of the taller ones in our paddock and flat track, and I was close to one of the top 5 tallest guys in your guys' paddock. Like, we're all pretty similar up there. And yeah, it was tough. Like, just the simplest things like lowering a brake pedal and things like that, and learning how much I don't have to move my butt. Like Jared Mays, you see him move his whole butt, slide back. If I do that, the whole bike's just going to react like crazy. All I have to do is roll my shoulders back, and I have all that weight back on a flat track bike. And yeah, the height thing's big. Like when I started on this is my first championship bike, like these things are pretty short. Like James said it was tall yesterday. It's pretty short. It was Max and I's teammates for 2 years, Max Whale, and we're both tall.
Yeah. And
so we started on these, which Shayna had a lot of success on the year before, and Max, this model. And so they were a little shorter. And over time, dude, they got tall. Like my other 2 championship bikes are tall compared to this.
How much taller? Like give us like 2 inches, an inch?
A little over an inch.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Like, dude, you sit on my 450 like that I just raced at Throwdown. We have 2 sets of suspension because we don't have like ride height adjusters on a factory shock like this. I get shocked, but instead of changing the ride height, we just change shock lengths and fork lengths. So we have a tall set and a short set. Shorts mainly used for cushions, talls for like clay, just when you want more swing arm angle. And yeah, like, dude, they're tall now, and that made a huge difference. Like, it's easier to lean over a tall bike. Yeah, it's a long ways, but it's easier to put more lean angle into a tall bike. When I was on a short bike and a tall kid, I was riding around almost Shayna style, what she made work with, kind of straight up and down, and I got away with that because I was light back then as an amateur in my first year as pro. But the bigger I got, I mean, I'm still skinnier than I probably should be, but the bigger I got height-wise and getting out of wind and making the bike work, the taller I wanted my bike so that I could make it lean over more because honestly, lean ankle is a big thing in flat track.
What else do you have to do? Do you do anything else like bars or pegs or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I run same height pegs. I don't do 5 offsets or anything like that. And then, yeah, my bars are really rolled forward. Like when you look at my bikes from the side, it looks like they're really rolled up. And I think they're 827s Renthals. And yeah, that's what I've ran on all my bikes.
And how factory was the factory bikes?
Dude, it was insane. Like I came off a program with Dad and I, and yeah, we had some money behind it with some sponsors, but it was him and I barely washing a bike in between AFT rounds, driving across the country in a big rig together. And if we wanted to make a change, he was throwing the cam in that day at the track. The factory, like when I went there in 2022 for my first time, or end of 2021, I went down there in November right before I turned 18, and dude, it was factory. Like I could not believe it. Just
Where did you go?
I went to Murrieta, California, where the KTM North America headquarters are, and they just had at that time they were in the old building before they built their new $53 million PR Mobility Group campus or whatever it is now. I think they just sold to a different company.
Yeah.
But it was factory, man, and yeah, it was crazy. Like just all the tie bolts that are on this thing, like that was the simplest like tie bolts, all these crazy parts, like our Nihilo lowered brake pedals. They were taking a full chunk of aluminum and making these lower brake pedals. It's not on this bike, but it's on my other 2 because it was something I asked for after my first championship. And just simple things like that, dude, it costs a lot of money to make a full lowered brake lever instead of cutting it off and tacking it back on. Things like that they didn't bat an eye at. and it was so cool. And just, I mean, I didn't have a great first year of American flat track. Like, it was good, it was solid, but I mean, I always get compared to Dallas is what I read about all the time, and AFT's always done that, and that's always been the stereotype. And yeah, he came out and won his first year. He won Peoria. Like, I didn't do that. That was obviously my goal because he did it a year or two before me. I can't remember how many years before me it was, but he went and did it. So that was always my goal when I went pro. I was like, I'm going to win a national my first year, start this. And dude, I led some laps my first year with Max, who ended up being my teammate the next year. But
It was at the orange clay track.
Port Royal, dude, best track in the world.
Yeah, you're rolling the high side, right?
Yeah, dude, just chugging along the track. I think we had like 8 teeth too tall on the thing, just wouldn't even step out. And yeah, we led some laps that night, and just first time I'd ever been at the front of an AFT race. And yeah, it was only 8 minutes, but like, dude, I was mentally like exhausted leading laps, and Max got me at the end, just outsmarted me and rode better, and he won that one. And then we went to Springfield short track, and I like fast qualified a session and stuff. And
On the
Hondas. And I ended up third that night. And then final round of the year, we had a month off. And that was kind of the first amount of real like training I took serious. Like, my first year was just fun. Like, Dad and I were doing it for fun. And kind of took a month of like actually riding and having a program put together instead of just riding for fun. And I was like, the thing Dad put in my mind, and I'll never, like, this was huge. Right before Charlotte 2021, month or two before, he's like, dude, you win Charlotte, you'll have a ride next year. You don't win Charlotte, you're not going to have a ride. I'm like, and he just kept pounding that in my head, and which was totally cool. It was motivating. And went to Charlotte. We were fast all day. It was my favorite thing in flat tracks when it almost rains out and the track's kind of mushy. I love that. And we were fast all day and take off in the main and get to the lead and start checking out. And then there's a red flag with some guys going down on the back straightaway with, I think, a minute or less left in the main event. And Max was in a position that if he won the race and Dallas got 8th or 9th, Max would have won the title that year. And I didn't know that at the time, but I remember sitting on the back straightaway and where we were sitting in our hot pit, or like the hot box. And I remember if it was Fillmore or Butler at that time or Max, I'm winning this effing race. Like, I could hear it right behind me. And I'm like, I'm just this young kid who's trying to win his first race, and I'm not in this. I don't know what's going on. Like, they're getting fired up, and I'm like, I remember hearing that, pull a whole shot. Within a lap or two, I made a stupid mistake. Max pulls out and wins it. Doesn't end up winning the title by a couple points, whatever. But and he was in a win or nothing situation, so he was riding hard. And I remember coming off the track after that race. Yeah, I was pumped. I got another podium, whatever. And I remember like being to Dad. I'm like, so we're not gonna ride next year? He's like, no, but I think you showed some heart. Like, I think people seen that. Like, I'm not saying no. Like, there's always a chance, dude. And we worked hard. Like, we talked with Estenson. We talked with all these teams. And
yeah, because I thought you were a hot commodity then. Like, the rumors going around, like you had Turner calling, you had KTM, you had Estenson, but like it was almost a bidding war. Is that true?
That wasn't really a bidding war. I mean, we talked to all three of them. Yeah. KTM was the last one. And financially, as a kid at that time, it would have been like, if I was going after the money, my first year or my second year pro, if I was going after the money after winning Rookie of the Year, would have been smarter that first year technically to go with like Estenson or Turner. They were bigger numbers. KTM was nothing. It was a 1-year deal, no salary, bonuses for winning, bonuses for championship. And I took that. I wanted a Red Bull helmet, dude. That was my dream ever since I was a kid. That thing's sick, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that the reason?
No.
He wanted the paint job.
Well,
but
no,
I remember Dad, honestly,
sometimes,
saying the same thing. He's like, is that your only reason? I'm like,
Well, free Red Bull too, right?
yeah, free Red Bull, dude.
Dude, they just came out.
Dude.
Peep them.
How does it feel to have to buy those things now, though? That's kind of tough.
Oh.
Man. It is tough, but we got some coming, dude.
We got some.
Don't worry.
Dude, he's my hook. He's my hookup.
I still got some boys. They're cool. Yeah.
All right, cool.
He's got a girl now, too.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to that. No,
It's turning red, dude.
I could have taken the little bit more money. I didn't have a salary with Red Bull KTM, but I never rode. I rode my Honda that year, and we had motor problem after motor problem. They were brand new.
When you're saying money, what are we talking here? Are we talking like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
5 digits, not 6 digits. Yeah.
It's not bad. How old are you then?
I just I wasn't even 18 yet. I was turning 18 in November that year. This is October, leading up to my 18th
But
birthday.
not life-changing, but...
Not life-changing, but like if I didn't win it all that next year on KTM, I wasn't going to make much money. I was going to get my travel money, and that's about it. But if I did that same thing on Estenson and didn't win much, or Turner, I was going to make some money still probably. And I took the risk, and then the main reason I think was just the people involved. Like, it was a true factory effort. Yeah, Estenson has a lot of budget, and Tim puts a lot of money into that, in the whole sport. And so does Mike Turner, but they're not factory. Like, this was like legit. We were working with guys in Austria on things we wanted. Like, this thing's got a really trick airbox on the other side, all 3D printed. That's not something that these other teams would do at that time. And just those reasons, like, the people involved were out of this world for a flat tracker and a young kid, and Dad seen that too. And Dad rode for KTM at a certain point of his career, and had some relationships there, and him and Chris Fillmore, and we knew everybody there a little bit. Dad did more than myself. And I took that risk. Yeah, I wanted the Red Bull helmet, and Dad kept joking, this is the only reason you want it. I'm like, no, dude, I raced KTMs my whole amateur career. From the moment I got on 450s to the moment I went pro, then I went
So
Honda.
you kind of knew the bike.
Yeah, and it didn't change. This year is the same model, technically, just different motor. Same frame and everything that I raced my whole amateur career, and I was comfortable on it. I was winning big races as an amateur against all these pros that I couldn't beat at the professional level. On legal stuff, it wasn't illegal. Like, it was legal bikes, and couldn't figure that out in AFT, and took that deal, 2022.
So, but what was that phone call? Like, tell me, so you've got Estenson calling you, you're talking to a few. Who's talking? Do you have a manager, or is it your dad, or is it you?
At that time, it was Dad.
So Dad's calling for you, saying, so this is Joe Kopp.
Yeah.
It's calling, hey, what's the deal? What are we doing? And then running it by you?
Yeah, no, it was full like that. Like,
so you're talking to Estenson, talking to Mike, and then who called who? Did your dad call Fillmore, or did he call you guys?
I believe Fillmore reached out to us.
Reach out to you guys?
To my dad.
Okay. So then your dad tells you, hey, man, just got a phone call.
Yeah, and my
what was
eyes
that
lit
like?
up.
Yeah?
Because it was the third one to come in.
I just want to hear, because people, like, getting those phone calls are pretty
Yeah, I've
rare.
had some really
Rare.
cool phone calls in my career with Kenny Roberts and Chris Fillmore and all these people. And I've had some tough ones too. Like, we'll get into that. But no, it was, I remember I was riding Moto at the house. We have a pretty cool track in my backyard in Micah, where my parents live now, and I've recently moved away from down to here. And we have a really cool track, and I was riding Moto, and Dad has a driveway gate business. I don't know if anybody knows that, but he builds driveway gates. So he comes home from his shop. He doesn't work from home. He has a different shop where he does all that, keeps it all separate. And he comes home and he's like, dude, I talked to Chris Fillmore today. And I didn't really honestly know. I'm like, who's that? Like, I knew who Chris Fillmore was, what he did, but I didn't realize that was that manager of that team. And he's like, I think there might be a spot. It sounds like Shane is going twins racing. I'm like, kind of like chills, like, holy, I didn't win this year. I didn't win that last race. What do you mean I'm not getting a ride? And it was slow. They were super slow, man. Like, this is early October. Charlotte was maybe into September, early October. This is early October. And it was like once every 4 or 5 days, Dad and Chris would talk. And he's talking to all these other people, Tommy Hayden, Tim, Mike Turner, Brandon Wilson at Honda. Like, he's talking to them a lot more. And so I'm kind of like realizing at a time there, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, I'm going to go one of these other routes on a Japanese bike. And no, just one day he's like, yep, it's official. Shayna's leaving the team. She's going twins racing, because if she would have stayed, I believe she might have still had a deal there, which willingly so. She's at the time the winningest singles rider, right? And the biggest kind of person and appearance in the sport, right? At the time. And yes, when Fillmore called Dad and told him that, and Dad told me, I'm like, I'm doing it. He's like, we haven't even talked anything yet. 1 year, whatever. Dad's telling me all this, like, he's looking at it from the right side, and I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. If he says, do you want to ride for it? I'm saying yes. I'm not even listening to the fine print, like, I'm doing it. And sure enough, before I turned 18, I'd flown down to California, I think November 8th or 9th, 2022, or 2021 it was, before the 2022 season, and got to go down there. I got to ride the bike at Paris, half mile before I even signed.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Paris half mile is terrible.
Did they want to see, or was it more for you?
It was more for me.
At that point, did you have an offer?
From them?
Yeah.
I believe so. We had an offer from them. And the way Estenson, if I remember right, and Turner did it, it was just like, say the word and we would have something.
Yeah.
Like, they would be interested. But it was more just talks. where I think we had something from KTM. Like it's a little more official working with that company. And rode the bike at Paris, which is a terrible track. I hate that track. And that was Fillmore's favorite track to go test out the next 2 years because it was half an hour.
I remember him being there.
And it wasn't bad, but I wasn't a lockdown dry groove track rider. So I think Fillmore was probably like, oh, what are we doing here? Can't remember who was there riding George's bikes that day, but his brakes caught on fire. I think it was Bronson Bauman. He was there riding George's XGs, which theoretically are the same bikes I'm on now, just changed a little bit. And I remember I'm riding this KTM and Bronson rolls in and his brakes are on fire, like fully on fire. I'm like, I'm riding a 450 for a bit. And the test went well, I'd say. We went back down to Murrieta area, about half an hour south of Paris, 45 minutes, and went and had dinner with Chris Fillmore and Auntie Cullinan, director of off-road there, which we were under the off-road banner. And yeah, we took a picture before I even signed the contract of me in a team shirt outside, and that was what they released once we signed a deal.
Wow, that's crazy.
1-year deal. And obviously that time, Max was looked at as the premier guy on the team. He just came in second in the championship, won the most races that year. He's strong. Like he was building and building and building from where Max started. And so I was okay with that. I'm on the team. I don't give a crap. I don't think AP cares either that he's not technically the A rider with Tomac, right? He's there and one of the people's favorites. And yeah, I took the deal and I thought I was for sure the second rider. And all off season we tested at Paris. We tested all these tracks. The weeks leading up to Daytona, we were riding so much at all these tracks. And I was never once, I don't think, faster than Max Whale at a test ever. And we knew that because we had these lap timers in our bars and it was eating me up because I was riding. Max at that time was living with you.
Yeah.
Here in DeLand. And
he was training hard.
He was training hard. Dude, I came over the one day to do like a skier with you guys.
We have the picture.
Yeah, we might clip that right now. I literally passed out on the couch after this. I wasn't in shape.
He was white. He was white.
I was like legit. Not that I'm in great shape now. I'm not no Ken Roxon, but like I'm cardio fit. I feel like.
Say James Rispoli, but
well, I mean, I think Roxon eats bone marrow every day. But anyways, no, I wasn't faster at all that preseason, and that was eating me up. But at the same time, I knew I wasn't putting in the work needed. So I really started on my own program with Troll Training, John Wessling and Alex Martin, and yeah, dude, we worked hard and came out at Volusia and won the season opener. First time I'd ever won, let it start to finish, won the dash, everything that day. And for 3 years consecutive, whatever that is, 40-something rounds, I never trailed in points. That was my singles career. Won every season opener and never trailed in points. And that's a big target to put on your back.
That's crazy. That's a huge stat.
Yeah. And
you looked that one up before this?
Nah, I just I always wanted AFT to do red plates because they wouldn't have to change them when I was in the singles class.
Deegan's here, dude. We've been waiting for this.
Shut up. Not Deegan. I will never be Deegan. But no, I always joked about it with people at AFT about like how cool it would be to have red plates.
It would be sick.
Even on a twin, it would look cool.
It'd be so sick.
Doesn't cost that much money. Three rounds into the season, it usually is down to 1 or 2 people that it would go back and forth with. But yeah, I never trailed in points for 3 years after Volusia 2022, and yeah, that year was great. Literally, the start of the first 5 rounds, we went 1-2 that first night, Max and I.
Yeah.
But I put a big gap on him. Even after the restart, I put a big gap on him, and that was a big thing in my head. Like all of a sudden, I have it. I can do this.
Was that the shift? Like, where was it? Was it that day that you shifted?
Yeah, because AFT had a tire test the day before the preseason test, the day before Volusia round 1, and dude, I was mid-pack at best, like 7th, 12th. It was a groove. Rain like crazy. Track was mushy, just like Charlotte that year, and I loved that. That year we had a lot of those tracks where it's like almost they could have called it, but they rolled it in, and it was just sketchy a little bit. Track was like that for round 1 that night, and loved it. Like it was my forte, what I love to do. Just it wasn't on asphalt like this, but when the dirt's inconsistent or something's unknown, I feel like
You thrive.
I thrive
That's
there.
so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, asphalt not the same. I'd rather it be all dry. Hated the wet.
That's so interesting. Especially, I feel like most dirt trackers like the wet, no?
I think it's how our tires. I think a lot had to do with our skinny little tires. We know.
Probably.
But I also think like everybody's like, oh, dude, you're like sliding around. Tell me when you slide in the wet.
No, you don't
When you
slide.
crash. So like when you have no feel, right? I feel like oh yeah, like you get more feel sliding around when it's dry as a dirt tracker than you do in the wet.
What do you think is like the biggest misconception that you heard a lot when you started road racing from flat track? Like, was there anything that like people kept saying that you're like?
I even said it in an interview once, but it was kept getting put in my head by everybody. But when the bike kind of gets loose or it starts sliding, that I'll be comfortable. Well, when a Kramer does that, you're 10 feet in the air.
Yeah,
you're not sliding those things around.
Yeah, that thing don't slide. It chatters, it don't slide.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
I wanted to ask, what do you think was like the, obviously James kind of touched on it, like the pivotal moment, but was there like a thing where you like, somebody trying to break in?
Are you farting?
no.
What do you think was like the aha moment, I guess? Was there like a specific one where it's just like you kind of realized that?
In 22? Yeah. Just that night in Volusia, honestly.
Was it? It was literally that night. You're like,
It was that dash for cash.
Was it like a vivid thing where you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, dude, I remember I pulled the whole shot in that dash and dropped them and then a 4-lap dash at that track. And I'm like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like, I had the crazy opportunity with Red Bull KTM, and not many kids have ever got to do that. So I knew what I had behind me and I knew how much work they were putting in. And when I finally clicked off that first lap or two of that dash out front and I was dropping them, where before, the year before when I was a rookie, I was out front, but I had somebody on my butt. All of a sudden I had pace and like, then it clicked. And yeah, we started out the year so strong. Like Max and I went 1-2 that night. And then Texas, I got second. Merg was really consistent that year, Morgan Mishler. I got second at Texas. I won Lake Odessa Speedway, I-70 Speedway in Missouri. Went to Kentucky Red Mile. I got second. Like I went 1-2, 1-2. I got fourth the other night at Kentucky and then won again.
Is there like something that you do differently at that point, or is it just...
At that time, no. I was just wanting to win. Like 5-6 rounds into the season, I had 20, 30 points or something crazy lead already. But at that point, no, I just wanted to win. We kept clicking off more wins and more wins that season. And then it got to a point with like 4 or 5 rounds left that all of a sudden I'm like, nah, I'm fine with fifth today. Like, I'm not going to put this under Bruner and Highside and my season's over, you know? And went to my home race in Castle Rock with kind of a different mentality. Castle Rock, Washington, it's about 6 hours from where I grew up. It's technically my home track, closest thing to the West Coast from me. And I went there and mathematically I had a way to win the championship that year there at my home track. I had to win that night, winner second, and Morgan had to get some other spot. And that didn't happen. I got 10th, literally one of my 2 worst nights of my career.
I think I remember watching that race.
Yeah, I think my 2 worst nights of my singles career were at my home track in Castle Rock, my home track, and got 10th 2 years in a row there. After like fast qualifying both years, blotching a start in a heat race. Just, I don't know what it was. Pressure got to me. I don't know. But I rode conservative for sure the closer I got to championships each year. You just have to. Like, there's a lot of money on the line. Like, let's be real. Especially with factory bonuses and stuff like that, there was a lot of money on the line to be made for me as an 18-year-old.
Like a milli, or what are we talking about?
I wish.
Drop some numbers.
A lot of money, dude. Like, it was good.
Like Raptor money?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice Raptor. But, I mean, nice. But no, there was a lot of money on the line. Yeah. And at that time, I was just 18 years old. And
did you know how much it was, or did like your parents keep that from you?
Nah. Dad obviously was a big part of, like, I knew all my contracts. Like, I knew everything that was going on and how much I was going to make that weekend if I won type
Did that make it easier or harder? Like, was that motivating or was it stressful?
Super motivating. I love what I do. I love that I get to race a motorcycle and that's my job. But I'm super money motivated. That might be my biggest weakness and my biggest strength. And last year I think it was a weakness because I knew I was making nothing. But I'm super money motivated. I want to be successful. I want to do this for my whole life. Like, I want this to be what I do and what I'm known for. And I don't have a 9-to-5 job at Wawa. And so it was motivating for sure. And I knew those numbers to a T. Like, I knew leaving the track, if I won that weekend, I knew how much travel money I got, how much this, and I was budgeting all that. Like, I was buying the cheap flights my first few years and still do. Save the extra $400 for that travel, cheap hotel. That's $400 more I get to put in my account. And so I knew all that, like, leaving each weekend. I'm like, sweet, that was a big weekend. That was nice. Like, sweet. And just, it's motivating to me. For 3 years, it was always motivating to me. It still is. I'd say this year not as much, not the money side of it. Like, I'm just here to prove myself. Like I'm finally on a big bike. But when I was on a single, each year it became more and more motivating. Like I was looking at it more as another championship. This is another this is another that.
Yeah, set yourself up for
Yeah.
later on. What were some of like the other cool things like outside of being a part of the team that came out of the whole factory deal? Like I assume there were some cool experiences you had.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we got to some really cool things, and Max and I didn't really know each other before that. Like I sat in Max's motorhome at Amateur Nationals one year and talked to him, but I didn't know Max very much as a person, and since honestly I kind of think of him as my older brother now. He's only 3 years older than me, but we have a really good relationship built off of that. But we got to do some cool things together, man. Like we went to Charlotte, North Carolina for a dealer meeting. We raced Port Royal 2022 it was. Fillmore flew us out that next morning bright and early. We were at Charlotte for a few days for a KTM dealer meeting, the whole US, all the KTM dealers, and with all the athletes. We were with Coop, we were with Mookie, we were with AP, like all these guys that were there at that time, all the off-road boys. That was cool, hang out with them and become friends with all them. I'd say another really cool thing was we got to media week for us was in November. We were actually on time. I mean, like how it should be as a race team. Not the week before the season starts. And we had a media week in KTM where they'd fly out everybody. Supercross was separate because they're a totally different deal, but all off-road, all the GNCC guys, all the West Hare and Hound, all of us, all the trials, we were all put in these cabins up kind of by Cahuilla. I don't know if you know where that is, out in California, and the Moto track. We were put up in these cabins, and it was so cool to I shared a cabin with Max and the Oliveira brothers, I think that year, or maybe Josh Roper, who's a trials rider, but just great riders for Gas, Husky, KTM, whatever they rode for those years. And to be a part of that and kind of get to be boys with all them that were totally different sports, and that was cool. Obviously, just getting to go to KTM when I want, or when I have to go out there to the facility when they built the new one, and we have our own shop that's massive. It's like Costco size for flat track. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
They had their own shop just for flat track?
Just for flat track.
What?
It's an identical mirrored building right down the middle. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You can go on. I think Weege did a full walkthrough when they released it. The middle's all WP, so we didn't use in-house. We used Solid Performance because he's flat track. But middle was all WP. Supercross is down one side. It went Red Bull, KTM, Factory, Husky, Gas, and then Motocross Amateur Team, like the Orange Brigade or whatever. And then the other side was KTM Off-Road, Red Bull, KTM Off-Road, Husky Off-Road, Gas Off-Road, us, Trials, Rally. Like it was crazy. Like we all had our own rooms.
Nuts.
And we're, 50 feet from door to door, but it's all your own room. Like I'd go in there and we only had 2 riders and we had 6 bike bays in this room. And I'd go in and sit with Charles at the time or Justin Pittman when they were both there. And Butler was always my flying guy, my mechanic. And so I'd go sit and hang out and then go ride moto and come back, and we have wash bays and stuff. So that was always cool.
So you just got to ride, like go and just take a bike off the showroom floor. Did you get to ride any like good moto bikes?
No, I wouldn't say ever. They always gave me, when I'd come down, a stock bike, whether it was a demo bike or a brand new bike, who knows.
Did you ever get to sit on a factory moto bike or anything?
I don't think. Maybe I did it. I think I did it at the LA Coliseum race for SMX that first year they did that because I had to go down there for some stuff. And I think I did that day, but never like rode it.
Yeah, okay.
I wish.
That would have been crazy.
Did you get to ride with any of those guys? Like, did they come do flat track stuff at all?
But you did something at Alden's, right?
Yeah, so at Alden's, I've got really good connection with Alden, and since he's actually got rid of the flat track when Jared went away, Jared Mays from our sport, so that's kind of sad. But I'd be riding flat track and they'd be riding Supercross this time of year. Like it's a really cool Daytona replica, and I'd be there, and the boys would be riding AP and Juju and all them guys, at the time, or whoever was there, Mookie, Chris. I don't even know who all was there, but that was cool. We did get some guys to ride flat track at the end of 2022. I think we had 6 bikes or whatever, and one of these wasn't. This was already on the showroom because it won the championship front and center at the KTM place. Mine, Dante's, everybody's. I think Cooper won the championship that year, maybe Webb. But we went to Blackmore Ranch. We did our photo shoot for the 2023 season the days before. And at the end of the week, once everybody had done their photo shoots, all the team managers came together and they wanted their boys to try flat track on a slow flat track. And so we had 4 fully prepped AFT replica bikes of a singles championship. Like they're not all with 12s on them. They had 18s and whatever, but they're set up full A kit, everything on them, every factory part. And these guys high-sided their brains out.
Did they really?
Who?
They just kept crashing them. Like a lot of the off-road boys, trials boys. I remember, I think it was Josh Roper or Daniel Blanconnette, trials guys for Gas. I think they were some of the crashes for sure. Then, honestly, I'll say this. I don't know if I ever have video. Maybe we can get it from Ian. When Dante rode the bike, he's legit. Like that guy's one of the fastest guys, I think, right now. He went to Paula a couple of years ago and I think qualified top 10 in the 450 class. He's an off-road boy.
Wow.
But dude, he rode well. Like you've seen the video of Barsha there on a gas two-stroke.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Like these guys were ripping actually. But by the end of the day, all the acros were flattened. Like all the like these things are sick. That's the coolest looking flat track pipe ever. All the low pipes were flattened, bent. Subframes were sticking straight up in the air.
No
Bars
way.
were tweaked. Radiators. Like, dude, the bikes were trashed. I remember Justin Pittman, he kept our bikes cleaner than clean. Like, he'd be pissed at me right now for how this looks. Like, it's probably not clean enough on his eyes. But he kept them cleaner than clean. And, dude, by the end of the day, he was just like, I'm going to Chipotle. I need some ice cream, man. I'm not touching these things.
It's got to be pretty funny when you ride around guys like that are so talented, and they probably look at like riding around in circles as like, how hard could that be?
No, that's all you hear. And
I mean, the whole thing with Pastrana was huge too. Like that was a big deal because he came out and didn't. I mean, back in the day,
Is that the hooligan thing?
no, even before that, he came out and rode a factory Suzuki framer and didn't even make the night show.
at Daytona.
Yeah.
Daytona's the hardest track.
It is.
But then he came back again in 21, was it? Yeah, 21. And he rode a Red Bull KTM at Atlanta Super TT.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I got to battle with him a little bit in Sipes and mid-pack with those
Sipes
guys.
was pretty good.
Sipes was
Did
great.
Sipes get on the
Yeah.
podium?
At Springfield.
Dude, he's won Buffalo Chip.
Oh, he did win the Buffalo Chip.
He should have won Springfield that year.
Yeah, he crashed.
just, honestly, I think it was inexperience. It was a really weird crash. But, dude, those guys are legit. And I think flat track gets a bad rap from the motocross industry. Like, I post a TikTok. I'm getting clowned by all these moto kids who are 8 years old, 10 years old. All you do is go in circles, whatever. And, dude, once you try it, it's legit. Like, you talked to Barsha about it. He loved it that day. Honda HRC did their press release one year there at Blackmore, and they had Jet riding a 125, CRF 125. But those guys loved it. Like,
Yeah.
It's way harder than it looks. You've seen Deegan try it with Johnny Lewis there at Blackmore once, and all these off-road boys, they were like, this is a blast. Like, Dante was legit wanting to build one.
Yeah.
So they just, you gain a respect for it when you try it. Like, obviously, we've all raced flat track here, and it's harder than it looks, dude.
It's
like,
fucking hard.
it's technical. It's a weird niche sport, and that's why I love it. Like, when you figure it out, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Just going through those 3 years with KTM, what was who do you think your hardest rival was?
Well, it was 2 years with KTM. 1 year was on my own.
Oh, so,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm just okay.
But 3 years on a KTM. I didn't ever get to race. Like, the year I moved up on Red Bull KTM, Dallas was gone.
yeah,
I really wanted to race him, and I'm excited for that this year because we've constantly been compared since. The last 2 years, for sure, Tom and Chase. Tom drained Chase Sadoff. The year before, Max got hurt round 5.
oh yeah,
Broke his tibia plateau or whatever that year when Bruner took him out at Red Mile. And it would have been Max, I think, but it was really Morgan Mishler that year. He had a great year in 2022.
yeah. But those are like years. But like, who was that? I mean, like,
Who was the one I hated to race, or like?
just like who was the guy that you like? I gotta like. There's people that you're like, all right, I got him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's people you're like, I don't know if you lose sleep overnight, but you're like working towards. I got a momentum swing here.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you've raced that you're like, I've got to beat him today?
Oh yeah. I mean, especially the last 2 years, it was Tom and Chase. Tom more than anything. Chase kind of had a couple inconsistent rounds to start each of the years, so he was kind of out of the fight. And dude, Tom's a strong rider. Like, he's a great rider, very talented, and he was always Tom. Whether it was mind games, whatever we were doing, like I would wake up on race day at certain tracks and know I'm gonna beat him. Like, that was just my vibe.
And did you, like, speaking, I know you said you wanted to race Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Did some of your reasoning of not going to SSM because of Dallas was there? Or did you
Yes and no.
Like, did that play a big role into it? Because he was kind of, I mean, I think from the outside, it looks like the Dallas show over there a little bit. Like, the team was kind of built around him.
For sure.
Very family vibe.
And rightfully so.
Of course.
But, yeah, it was a little part of it. He'd obviously won 2 back-to-back titles. So I knew no matter what I did, if I went over there and rode a single, whether it was the pressure of they're going to want the same thing, which I ended up doing, but like the pressure of doing that, or just the fact, like he's been with Tim for a long time. I'd worked with Tim a little bit as an amateur. I had Estenson on my leathers for a year or two there, and Tim's a great guy and he's got a great deal going, but I didn't want to be the B guy. Like, I mean, I didn't look at Red Bull KTM as I was going to ever be the A guy. In my head, when I'm sitting in bed, I thought about it, but I didn't ever really realistically ever feel that way when I was going there. But I already had that vibe that team was more so going to be that goal. I wanted to build my own name, build my own deal, and I haven't got to race Dallas really, but my rookie year, and I didn't have a great rookie year, so I'm really excited for it. Obviously, we're leaving out Breyer. Like, I haven't got to race Breyer, but at the Winter Throwdown or certain outlaw races, and
it's going to be a different thing when you go to the national, right?
Yeah,
like, everybody shows up differently.
Exactly.
Do you think people are looking at you like guys like Breyer who've been around the block a little bit, like looking at you like, you know, as a young kid, won 3 championships, like kind of like you have a target on your back in a way in that regard, as far as like
they want to make sure they beat me?
Yeah.
I hope so. Like, I thrive on that. I loved having the red plate for 3 years. I thrive on pressure of people wanting to beat me. Like, I love that.
Does it make you nervous at all? Like having that little bit of a target?
I don't think so necessarily. No, I don't feel nervous about it. I know the work I put in. I know my team behind the scenes is grinding. Like, we're going to have some really strong bikes and everything. And no, it doesn't make me nervous at all. Like,
even with having a package that, you know, Breyer essentially got second in, won all his races.
Yeah. Like, at least 2 rounds before the season was over, he was winning the championship, right? Like, he was on a championship caliber bike. Just some things led to a different outcome.
And you're kind of taking that over.
In a way. And no, I don't. I think if there's any pressure or outside pressure, it's Breyer proved it. How many races did he win last year? A lot.
Yeah.
Like, now it's proven.
You got a proven bike.
Yeah. Now there's no excuse.
The rules aren't changing.
Yeah. So that'd be the bit. Not pressure from guys. I don't feel that. But from the other standpoint of it.
Now, you say talking about building your own sort of or deal, like building your own way. Does that stem from anywhere of having your dad be so influential in the sport? Like, or, you know, you've talked about, hey, you've changed your mindset going through the year of being in KTM. Like, kids don't learn that, like, without having some sort of figure that's been there. I've worked with your dad. I know how amazing he is. Like, we had a championship year and things of that nature. But, you know, how much influence has your dad had? I don't know how to say that without, because obviously he has had a ton of influence. But, like, when you say you want to build your own path and do your own thing, is that because your dad was so influential, or?
Yeah, I think in a way. It's mainly just because he's had a lot of success in the sport, and I don't want that to carry me through my career. I want to build my own way. I don't want people to say I only got this ride this year because Dad's friends was George. Like, I want to prove that I'm worth it. And I have crazy goals. Like, you know, Dad, he's mentally strong. I think one of the strongest, really. And he's worked with a lot of mental coaches on that. And I have as well with him through his people. And he was never the most talented guy by far. He didn't start racing flat track. I think he got his pro license mid-20s and won in his second year at Peoria or something like that, third year. But dude, he just works his butt off. I want to carry that over. I want to have that trait, and I feel like I'm getting there. But yeah, I want to build my own name. Like, I didn't choose 43 for one reason. My first year on Red Bull KTM, because you had 43 and AFT only allowed one number per class or one number for the series. So I didn't get to run 43, and I chose 12 because I wanted to kind of start my own brand. And so we're finally back on that, kind of get to run with that again for a bit, hopefully. And I mean, without him though, dude, he's my manager, he's my dad, in my house, he's putting putty in my drywall because I got some holes in some walls here and there.
He's been punching holes in the walls, dude?
Nah, I bought a house from Jimmy fully staged, and had 85 million signs in it. This girl really liked coffee so much that there was 85 signs in the coffee corner.
No way.
Oh, it was over the top.
Dude, fully furnished.
But
Dude,
like-
I got this guy a deal of a lifetime.
Yeah, if you need any real estate, James Spoley, call him at 4
Dude, you're gonna
a.m.
have to start paying for all these advertisements.
Bro, dude, I know, man. The bill's in the way, dude.
But no, he's everything for me. Not just him though. I can't leave out Mom and Carly. Like my family, dude, they sacrificed a lot for me. Like with my decision to go professional racing, we moved down here to Florida for January through March of 2021, and that took Carly out of inline or in-person school. And at the time, she's 4 years younger than me, so whatever she would have been, like fifth grade, fourth grade. That's when you're really making your friendships for life. I feel like the couple core group you get is around then, and she sacrificed that, and I see it to this day still. Like she eventually ended up going back to online school after that because she's in a horse world and she does that, but she sacrificed a lot. My mom and dad, like, yeah, they have a lot of friends at home and such, and they didn't get to see them a lot, and we had family at home at the time, and my grandpa was still at home and alive back then, and Mom didn't, like, yeah, we lost a lot of family time and stuff like that. Not to give everybody the same sob story that everybody has to go through, but it's a big sacrifice, so I got to include all three of them. It's not just Dad. Dad is known for it because he's got a big name in the sport and in the general area, but
And I think a lot of people don't know that your mom is very, very in tune with your racing.
Oh,
I
she's
mean,
huge.
I know when we were doing some of the house stuff, I was talking to your mom almost more than you during all of that. So she's very, very, influential in your.
Absolutely. She's insanely smart. I'd say very, very underrated for how smart she is on the business side of everything.
Yeah.
She ran Dad's Joe Kopp Racing, and like he got to race. She got to do that type of thing. Yeah, he worked with the sponsors, but she did everything behind the scenes. She's done essentially the same thing for me.
It's really tough to be able to work with family and to have that close and not get too.
And there's days, man, like we're at wit's end.
Yeah, of
Dad
course.
and I, like, it's no secret. Dad and I both, we get on each other's nerves, and you see it sometimes at the races, which is fine. Everybody has that happen. But as a family, I'm super proud of us for how we've done it, because it doesn't normally work out. I've watched this Ryan Villapoto documentary, Story of a Champion, on YouTube probably 80 times. And you see how his family got ripped apart because of his racing and the sacrifices. And I'm so proud of our family for not having that happen. And they've all made their sacrifices, and I'd say I've been the one that had to make the least amount of sacrifices. And I'm so grateful for that. And I don't know how I'll ever repay them, but like, I'm trying to just simple things. Like, I got a place down here. I try to get them down here a lot, try to come hang out, like come enjoy the warm weather instead of the ice up at home right now. Mom can't run them. She's a big runner. She can't run right now because it's so nasty at home. So come down here, whatever, right? And yeah, it's, I've never had an agent. I have friends that kind of act as agents in a way. Like, I'd say, James, you're a huge help in that. Frankie Garcia, like,
You representing this guy?
dude, he's got a logo on the bikes, not the race bikes, practice bikes. We got a little hog on the back fender. Check it
Real
out.
estate Rispoli. You'd probably just use it for a write-off, knowing this guy.
Yeah, there ain't no money involved. Don't worry, it's just a sticker. I actually drive him around.
I was just gonna say, there's plenty of money involved, dude. I haven't.
If anyone's looking for sponsors, James is actually looking. You could send a resume to jamesrispoli43@gmail.com.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of money to get rid of.
but I've never had an agent. I will.
Do you think the sport needs agents? Like, do you like dirt track itself? Like,
It's not big enough yet.
It's
The professional side of the series, AFT, isn't ready for it yet, let alone us, who I know, like, the going kind of rate is 25 to 30% an agent takes of what they bring in.
damn.
Dude,
Who are you talking to?
That's what I've heard. I don't know. What is it normally?
Damn, I should
I
get in
don't
that
know.
business.
I've never had one either.
I've heard it's that. So just with talking with Wassman and all that. And I refuse to do that, dude. If that's a $100K deal, you only get 70. I'm the rider. Yeah, he did all the work, but I can do all that work in a couple weeks and do that, stay up late at night after my training and get the whole check, you know? So I just won't do that. I can't do it right now. And I'm not saying never. Maybe the sport finally gets to a point where it needs it, but not right now. And so Dad's kind of always been that guy, and it's been, yeah, he's smart, dude. He's a businessman. He knows how to do it.
Go ahead.
I'll go.
I was gonna say, when did you actually start riding?
When I was 4. Yeah.
Moto or always flat track?
Off-road more than anything. That's how Dad started his career, so I think that's what he wanted to do with me. I think if anything, Mom and Dad will always say they never wanted me to race. Like, just obviously Dad was in some bad crashes and stuff, and there was a lot of people that unfortunately lost their lives in that time of the sport before protection got so much better. And I think more than anything, the safety side, they didn't want me to race. They were fine if I was going to ride trails in Mica up on the mountain, or...
Is that much more popular up by you?
Yeah.
Off-road stuff,
dude.
enduro?
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like, I went to their house once, and Joe was like, hey, let's go. We jump in his, like...
Side by side.
Crazy. I mean, dude, this is not even a side-by-side. This thing's, like, worth more than my truck. This thing, you could literally climb, like, just... Dude, it's so crazy. And he's like, oh, we're just going to go pick up Carly from school. I'm like...
Going to Mount Rainier.
What do you mean,
like
dude? He took all the dirt roads, and we just have goggles on, and he's just like, bruh. And I'm like, what about the cops? He's like, oh, no, dude, they all know. I'm like, what?
They all know around us.
Like,
but
dude, what?
That's pretty sick.
It's so cool.
Starting out, yeah, they didn't want me to race, and I raced when I started. My first race, I was 5, so I think it kind of
Didn't last very long.
Didn't last very long. I think Dad went from not wanting me to race to, obviously, I grew up at the track and everything, and honestly, when I was really young, I used to hang out in a lot of other people's pits than Dad's. Mom would always tell me to get lost, pretty much, like, stay out of Dad's way. Don't be asking him for more, those old poker chips I used to, like, that they give out at autograph sessions. I'd be playing with them. Stay out of Dad's way on race day. Like, at the end, we'll all be good, but, like, just, he's doing his job, buddy, and all that. So I'd go bug other people like Brad Baker or Bronson Bauman and get in their way. But it became pretty quick. Like, Dad all of a sudden went from no racing to let's do it. And I was never the kid as an amateur. I had good stuff. My first KTM 50 was probably 10 years old at the time. Like, it was, at that time, air-cooled when everybody was on these water-cooled 50s. And I wouldn't say we didn't have great equipment, but it made me work for it. I didn't get my first, like, I had an FMF slip-on my 85. I had 250. We just put full Yosh system on it. Like, didn't have motor work till I was on a 450. 2020, I got my first bit. When I got my Horizon Award that year, I had some motor work done. But, like, we always did kind of the minimum. Like, yeah, the program was great. We had enough to go racing and do all that with sponsors and stuff. But we didn't have the bikes, I would say. And it taught me a lot to push through. Like, taking a total squirrel here, that was something Phil Moore always, I think, enjoyed, was I wasn't picky. Like, yeah, the bike, we won tonight. Was the bike great? No, probably could have used a lot of different changes, but I figured out how to ride through it, and that's something that wouldn't have happened without the way Dad kind of taught me to grow up and ride all these different things.
But you were always interested in dirt track? That was like your...
Yeah. I mean, I rode a lot of trails and woods races up in the Pacific Northwest growing up on 65s and stuff, but dirt track was always my thing. I loved it. We had a track. My parents used to run a track in Spokane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Spokane Speedway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, little 3/8 kind of pea gravel track, about 45 minutes from the house. So they took that over for a couple of years when I was pretty young, and then they got rid of it and sold it off or whatever when we actually started having to travel for racing.
Was there a lot of tracks near you other than that?
There was Spokane Speedway in the summer, Spokane Indoor in the winter, which is in a cow barn right downtown. And then anything else is minimum 6 hours.
Wow.
That was the closest. And if you wanted to go to Lodi, it's 12, 13 hours. Like,
so how often were you actually riding at that age?
A lot at the house. Like, we had a flat track at the house.
Oh, okay.
Just a small little short track. It was never prepped, ever. And we'd let it go a whole summer pretty much and never drag it, never put water on it.
I guess that's the nice part about dirt track is you can just put a little TT track or gym track in the backyard or oval or whatever, especially when you're on little bikes, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be very big.
Exactly. Now I've ridden 450s on it. It's like first gear and the tightest gear you ever put on a bike. But that's where I learned a lot, man. That, and I'd say that was all I got to do for riding was just at the house. We wouldn't travel like to a motocross track or anything. Dad didn't believe in motocross at all. And I think still it drives him nuts when I'm going moto in 2-3 days a week and throwing whips or whatever, trying to throw butt whips. It drives him nuts. I'm like, dude, check out this clip. I just toss this thing. Ugh.
Dude, it's so funny.
But That and
You got pretty good on a motorbike though. That's what I hear.
yeah, I'm getting.
I hear you're like the king of packs down here.
Nah,
I would say it's probably pretty close now.
I'd say there's 3 of us that are
Yeah,
close.
you, Dal, and
Briar.
Briar are like real close for the title. If there was a title, there'd be a shot.
You guys should have a little shootout, a little preseason.
No, they
Yeah,
would
that's
all.
not-
They would all wad.
Yeah,
It's like it's.
I usually have one big one a year at PAX, so I'll stay out of that.
But like you growing up, like I don't remember really hearing your name until I know exactly where. Like I didn't really know you until I did the deal with Latest.
Yep.
Right, and then we did that one. I knew you were good after Travelers Rest.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know who you were. I didn't really follow the amateur stuff, but we did that race at Travelers Rest, and I saw the way you rode the bike was literally identical to what Shayna used to do. Be like you had more grip than a lot of people, and you used to spin the fuck out of the bike. And I was like, oh boy, he's really good, like really really talented on a bike. But then you like, I don't know where it was. But you like made a big jump one year in moto and in bike, and it's like I don't know where that year was, but it was like all at once you just became phenomenal on a motorcycle. And not saying you weren't previously, but it was very noticeable for me.
No, I was a squid on a motorbike, like because I didn't get to do it growing up. And honestly, if I could have made moto work, that would have been every kid's dream, I think, in America. Like just how big it is right now, supercross, motocross. But I never had that opportunity. Like it wasn't really at the house. We had a turn track. Really, there's one jump, so I didn't really ever get good at jumping or anything like that. And it was always drier than dry. So I came down to Florida in 2020 for that preseason.
Oh yeah, that was
the year Travelers Rest, COVID year, all that. And I was terrible, dude. I'd show up to PAX. Dad would drive me over. I had a Nissan van back then.
that's what I remember. I remember you weren't like that much faster than me.
Oh, there's no way I was even faster. I was on a little 250 Honda, and I was just terrible, like honestly terrible form, everything. And I remember watching that year was like Briar was down here and JD and these guys, and I'm watching them do 25, 30-minute motos. I can barely hold on for 10, like, and they're ripping, like, and they've only gotten better since. Like back then it was ripping to me. And dude, it was like, I gotta get to that level if I want to be good. And so I grinded a lot that mid-season, even when I was still an amateur. I was riding moto a lot at home in Spokane. We have one good motocross track about 45 minutes from me, and riding a lot of moto. And just recently, the past few years, I've just been taking a lot of moto schools, and it's all I do is dissect motocross videos when I go home each night. I sit and I don't really have any flat track footage to look at except old videos. I don't have anything current right now from our testing, but I'll sit and watch Deegan's vlog or Cole Davey, any of these guys, Jet, the Lawrence vlog. I sit and watch, and I'm rewinding, like when he hits a berm, I'm watching his foot, I'm watching his hand on the clutch, like where he's sitting on with his butt, because I want to be good at it. Like that's a goal. I'm not saying I want to go race it at all.
You think being good at moto, like those skills translate at all?
Barely. Like the past few years, yeah, Dallas and Briar are super twins, and I was singles the past few years, and we do these whole preseasons. And I'm hanging with them, getting closer on a motorbike. Definitely the fastest singles rider on a motorbike those past few years, and most comfortable. And I'd show up 4 years in a row, and I never won Peoria after like fast qualifying each year, which that doesn't really transfer over, but that always drove me nuts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have so much control in the air, and it's only getting better, And then I go to Peoria, and I'm like, obviously, that's only a second of the lap is the jump, but that was what I always thought. I don't think it transfers over a bunch. More than anything, I think you gain a lot of muscle that you can't really gain in the gym on a motorbike, like different muscles that you can't imitate. And so that's why I do it a lot. And
You said you do motocross schools?
yeah, I've done some motocross schools with some guys back at home. I have a really cool compound 15 minutes from where my parents live in Micah, Washington. Just a farmer, friend of our family, Seth Milhorn. His kids race motocross amateur level, 85s and super minis right now, I think, or 65s and super minis. And he had Hayden Deegan's uncle, I think that is, Sonny Linetti, track builder guy, does all the arena cross stuff, and very good track builder. He had him come out and build a supercross pad, supercross track, outdoor moto track, turn track, pit bike track, like high level.
Wow.
Put like 50 acres to the side of his big farm fields and did that. And so I go out there a lot mid-season, not necessarily off-season a lot when I'm home in Washington. And I get to ride a lot, and there's always somebody good out there that's coaching. Like I have a really good friend, Brandon Kalberg. He's running a supercross team this year out of California, Yamaha team. I think he was just there with Masterpool and he tested. Like, he's a stout dude and he knows what he's talking about. Between him and honestly just some motocross guys that are good at home, like Braden Spangle, and some buddies of mine that rip and make supercross mains. Ryan Brees, he's been a big one to help me. They just tips, and I get one tip of, dude, you need to get your knees back, and that's all I work on for a week there, going back every morning or whatever, you know. And
did you do any school stuff road racing wise?
No. Would have loved to, but
James didn't want to sponsor you with any help.
Nah, there was no Rispoli help there. But
what do you mean?
It was more so just like, you need to lean the bike over more, and that was it. That was my schools.
Stop.
Not from you. I'm talking from like team.
Oh, like
that was my feedback I got. Like, you need to lean it over more. I'm like, well, I don't really understand how.
It's just
like,
interesting to hear you say that. Like,
that's why. That's why one of the reasons I feel like you haven't even cracked it. I know you're going to be good. Like, I know you'd be phenomenal at road racing.
But how come you didn't spend that time on the same like energy you have for motocross on road racing stuff?
Just didn't have a bike to go do it preseason, or I would have been. Like, I was doing these track days, these whatever the companies are that do the track days in the South area, but I just didn't have the bike to do it. I wasn't going to go do it on a NSF 250, which I was already too big for, let alone the Kramer. Could have. Looking back, I wish I would have. I talked to Pridmore a bit about it, and I wish I would have done it with JP. Like,
yeah, that would have been really good. I mean, it's not too late. Like, it's not too late.
It's not done.
And I don't know if a lot of it would have translated anyways to that bike, but it would have definitely been better for sure. Just learning. We would do quite a bit and, try to streamline a bunch of the fundamental stuff, right? And we would dissect a lot of things, but it was really tough. I feel like, I don't know, it hurts me because I wish I didn't. I wish I was in a different spot in my career that I could have just went with you.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, right? Like, I was trying to rebuild my own thing, and it's like, I feel like if I was at most of those races, things would have been different. You know what I mean?
If you weren't racing at those.
Yeah, of course. It's just so hard when you're,
But you were doing the stuff that nobody else was with me, like, and I will always appreciate that. Like, we were driving to Bushnell a lot more than I think you wanted to, but I think a lot of days you didn't. Like, I don't think you necessarily wanted to drive the 2 hours, and I don't blame you. But I would talk to you, and you'd go and you'd help me, and
it's just all about trying to build some sort of fundamentals in a short amount of time. But yeah, I think I mean, I really wish we could have got you in Chuckwell on 1,000 or even on a 600, just something that maybe would have not translated to the Kramer, but mentally would have been like, oh,
just more experience.
But I also get it. Like, I get like, oh, I can't do it here, but mentally I'm good because I know this is what it's supposed to feel like. And I feel like you've been given a really bad apple on what road racing is, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, yeah, I just thought it was interesting hearing you talk about the motocross stuff, and I just didn't know if you did much in that same way for road racing.
Not really. Just some JP would text me mid-day at Mid-Ohio or something, watching from the booth, obviously, or yourself. Anybody in the paddock was trying to help PJ a little bit. Like, I think everybody wanted to see it work out, but it just wasn't the right combination.
After those long weekends, road racing or even now flat track,
that's what he does.
You just crack open a Red Bull and get recharged, or what? What are you doing to recharge the batteries after this year? Obviously, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
mentally more so. Like, what did you do? Just to reset and kind of turn over to get back on the flat track bike, like, and not carry over that kind of bad aura. Yeah,
like I said, it was real recent, like soon after the road race season was over, I was on a flat track bike again, like less than a week, and so that wasn't like time to reset at all. Then after that, I went home to Washington. Normally, I just bought a house. Why didn't I spend 3 months down here? I went home to reset. Like, if I was down here, I would have been riding again or feeling lazy if I'm not. Went home, and not that I had the excuse to do some time off and do my own thing, but I got to spend some time with my girlfriend, and we got to do some fun things, riding mountain bikes. That's what she does, is ride. She races downhill mountain bikes professionally, and so I got to just kind of disconnect from the motor side of the sport and enjoy two wheels, but without a motor. and just do fun things. Like, I don't know, my reset normally after a weekend is, dude, I'll just watch my YouTube and I don't know, go get a good coffee, go get like, I like to get right back to it in a way. Like I just like to get back on a bike, whether it's a flat trick bike, moto bike, anything, back on anything. I just love to ride.
Yeah.
But
So for you, more of the same is more or less
yeah,
how you reset.
yeah. This off season, the reset was a lot of just family time and
Not riding.
not riding. Honestly, I took a huge break. Like, yeah, I was flying to these tests and riding a flat track bike, but I took a big break and it was so good for me.
I think you went like 4 years of like riding
All the time.
like 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
Like I remember that 1 year. I mean, it was all the time.
Oh,
Like it was too much for me.
yeah. And my parents have a place over in Ocala that they bought some land, and my first ever kind of big boy purchase when I made some money that first year with KTM early in that season, I bought a skid steer. And so I built my own motocross track in the woods there. And so then when PAX is closed or Orlando is closed or Johnny's is closed, I always had somewhere to ride. And those pre-seasons, dude, I was riding every day there if I wasn't riding somewhere else. Like if I was home, yeah, I would do my intervals or whatever on my bicycle on a stationary bike because we're on dirt roads out there in Ocala. I'd do my intervals, whatever. And I was riding every day, like 7 days a week almost, and just burnt myself out, I think, more than anything. So this off season was the first ever off season that October and November, when the dirt is primo at home in Washington, that I didn't really ride. Like I rode a bit. I rode some off-road on my Stark. Rode mountain bikes, which I think transfers over to motocross in a way. Everything I think helps. But there was no flat track besides testing. And I'm not going to like say when that quit. Like it stopped pretty soon. It was a good break off, but then I got back to it and we've been full on since.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a little time off for sure. I think road racing wise, you kind of get, as you learned last year, you don't get to ride quite as much, so it's a little bit different. But anyways, that's our Yuasa Batteries Recharge the Batteries segment. Yuasa Battery is the most trusted battery in power sports since 1979. For over 45 years, Yuasa has delivered power, reliability, and passion at every turn. Yuasa supplies power sports batteries to more OEMs and riders than all of our competitors combined in the US and globally. And the reason is simple: premium quality, unmatched reliability, long life, advanced engineering with years of application expertise. Yuasa Battery, setting the standard for power sports batteries since 1979, each and every day.
Starts with Yuasa.
Yeah, baby. Find your battery at your local Yuasa retailer via yuasabatteries.com.
I love it.
Nice. Okay, so you don't seem like you have a lot of other outlets, but like, do you do anything else? You play any sports? Were you homeschooled?
No, I went to in-person school at tiny little school 7 minutes from my house in Washington, my parents' place. And
How tiny is tiny? Like how many kids were in your graduating class?
I think when I left freshman year of high school, second semester. I think we were at like 71, maybe.
that's
71 people.
71 people in my
Oh,
class.
that's really
But when I
small.
was younger, it was, I think, under 50 for the whole grade.
So you
each
know
grade.
everybody.
Oh, everybody. Like half of them are my cousins.
It makes the dating pool pretty small, huh?
Yeah, dating at school was not the ticket. But
What was there anybody else that was riding with you, or are you like the only kid that was doing that kind of stuff?
yeah.
J-Dog.
J-Dog, baby. Let's drop it. J-Dog. He's my
One of your buddies?
one of my really good buddies, one of my best friends. He rides flat track, races flat track. He's
Okay,
very
cool.
talented.
Can't go uphill on a mountain bike.
Not really a mountain bike. Dude, he said Jimmy's calves were huge that day. But no, J-Dog, he's my boy, dude. He's always been there. He's the one I call when I'm having a bad night, like a bad night on the AFT track or something. Afterwards, driving home, I'm calling him. Yeah, I watched, man. It didn't look good. But he's real. He's hilarious, and he's my boy. So I've always been there, and he's got a track at his place. I have a track at mine. So we always were same grade, same age. He's a month older than me to the day. And so we've always rode together, and he's not a motocrosser. He's getting there. He's getting to be an off-road guy these past few years, but he's always been flat track. So we'd ride flat track a lot. Aside from that, I had buddies that wanted to be cool and ride dirt bikes because it was cool to the girls, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, especially when you get a Red Bull helmet.
Yeah, at that time I hadn't, but yeah, they thought it was cool, I guess. So there was guys that tried it, but they were not motocross. They were not dirt bikers. And I played sports. I played football. I played basketball. I wrestled up until 6th or 7th grade. Did all that, track, whatever.
I feel like all dirt trackers wrestled. Is that just like a thing, or what?
I don't know. But you ran?
Yeah, I did track.
Is that why you have a good running base?
I don't think so. Dude, I threw javelin and did high jump.
No, you didn't.
I think so, and long jump. I didn't do run.
Oh.
No, yeah, I did track and field, and I did the field.
You did. You
Stay in the
You
field.
did the javelin, dude. You threw the dart.
Yeah, dude. You want to get a jab out? I was terrible.
Could you see him in a
I was terrible.
singlet?
I don't even know.
Throwing a big dart.
Dude, we were at such a small school. It was like we competed against each other. Like there was no other schools that like really. This is middle school. I didn't play high school sports because I left freshman year of high school, second semester. But so I was in person school growing up. A lot of good buddies that I'm still super close with. I'm sure right now my phone's on mute, but I sent them a picture sitting down for this podcast. They're probably like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, huh? And so I have boys back home and my core group I grew up with. But then I went online school. I made that sacrifice, and yeah, I probably missed out on a lot. But freshman year, second semester, I went online and I graduated a semester early in my senior year. And did all my online schooling, got the same diploma and everything that all my boys got. And I always took school super serious. I don't know why. That was just something when I do something, I want to do it right. I remember I got an A- in an AP class in 8th grade, so it counted towards my high school GPA. And so he just nipped me on the 4.0. So I was real bent about that. And there was like half a percent on that grade, but that always nipped me. Didn't have that perfect 4.0, and I like to do things right, and that always drove me nuts. But
interesting. So you're a big school guy, and have you still like tried to do anything after high school?
No, I think when I started making a living riding for Red Bull KTM in my senior year and whatever, junior, senior year was when I went pro, I guess. Yeah, junior, senior year. Started making money, and I know it's what I want to do for my life, and I feel that no matter what happens, I can have a job inside this industry that doesn't need a 2-4 year diploma, and I think it's a waste of money. That's my outlook on it as my personal self. I know people, it makes sense to go to college, and I get that, but for my personal self, I think it'd be a waste of my money to go get a diploma and spend 80 whatever it is grand a year.
Did you go to prom and do like all that stuff too, or no?
Yeah, I did homecoming before I left that first year. I did the dances. I did some dances. I don't know. I just not really a dancer, but I did some school things. But I missed out on a lot, like being on the road all the time, and yeah, it was missed out on a lot. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like,
Yeah.
my life I've got to live, and I'm 21 years old now, is things nobody ever gets to do. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
super blessed.
What about like just like relationships wise? Do you feel like it's hard to relate to people, especially at that time? I mean, as you get a little older, you make new friends that are kind of more relative. But when you were traveling and then going back home, did you?
It was like each time I was coming back after a month out on the circuit or whatever, or amateur racing, I'd come back and I'm just that farther kicked out of the group,
Yeah.
But I've always had my core group of boys, like the 5-6 of us, I think it is. Literally, I was with them right before I flew down to Florida to be back on the program. But we're still all boys. A couple of them are married now. Actually, half the group's married now, and we're all 21. Yeah,
That's crazy.
But
I feel like that's kind of like a old town, or I don't know. Like, I mean, New York was kind of like that too. Like Western New York was
Not my New York.
no, like Western New York. It's kind of the same vibe. Like you guys are all just like outdoors, outdoorsy, hunt jackets.
No, for sure, we're definitely not. We played the video games when we were in 8th grade or whatever, and that stuff. We played the Fortnite when it came out, whatever. But we're all outdoorsy. Like, we're all, I guess, guys. Like, people were building trucks. Like J-Dog built an old truck, and we'd all go over and hang out when he's bolting new parts on and fixing stuff. And just being able to do that, like knowing that this whole group of my boys, if my girlfriend got a flat tire, she's up in Washington or whatever, they would go out and help her. Like, just having that always is huge. Not that she wouldn't be able to do it. She's plenty of a mechanic herself. But yeah, so I'd say that it really built a good relationship with all them, because I'm not going to get religious on everybody, but just like our families were, and we all went to church together, and we had small groups and stuff. And I really pride my family on that. And that built a really core group that had a good bond, and it's always stuck.
That's really cool. I feel like that's not always the case. Are you friends with anybody from high school?
Steve-O, baby.
That's it, really, right?
I mean, there's a couple friends, but yeah, no, not really. I was always, I mean, I got pulled from 2 schools, so.
Yeah. And I feel like Steve was down here, which makes it a lot easier, right?
Yeah, but Steve always tried to stay in touch with me, and I'm the worst, but yeah. I mean,
do you find it challenging to like stay in touch and just kind of keep those relationships alive as you like kind of grow more and more in this direction? Obviously, you're in Florida now too. But.
For sure. I mean, a couple of them are in college, a couple of them still live at home, so they all come home still to Washington. So it's hard to keep those relationships. I'm only talking about my core group, but just with everybody. My dad's friends that I'm really good friends with, I've always hung out with kind of older, like the next generation up from me, just because they're all motorheads, and I enjoyed that as a young kid. And it's hard, but I think everybody has a mutual understanding of it now. With myself being year 6, kind of being a professional athlete and racer, they have an understanding of it with me. And like I said, they're getting married, or everybody has their own things going on. So we're all just cool enough about it that I could not talk to them for 6 months and call them up and we'd be cool. Like we talked yesterday.
When you said you were Red Bull KTM, when you were in junior year, were people like thinking you were like rich at that point? Like, did you get like that kind of stuff going on at home, where like there's like the, all of a sudden you got a Red Bull helmet and you're on what looks like you're like,
Yeah, because obviously those were all my friends and they still followed me, and all my school was kind of my first followers, or whatever on social media. My first presence was with people from home, and a little. I'll tell you a story. When I was in 8th grade, we had career day, and this one's always burnt me. We had career day, and I remember it was in a technology class or whatever, my elective, and the lady comes in and she says, we need you to fill out these forms, the whole class. Fill out what you want to do for your career, and we're going to give them to you when you graduate senior year. See how much you've changed or what you're going for. And I write down, I'm going to be a professional motorcycle racer, and I write down what I think I'm going to make and what I need to do it. And I write down, like, I could drop out of school now and do it, but I'm going to finish high school, blah, blah, blah. I remember I was like one of the first ones to do it, because I knew all these guys are making up, I'm going to be an electrician, and they don't want to do that, or I want to be a car salesman.
Whatever their dad does.
I knew what I wanted to do, and I handed it in like first. And I remember I sat back down at my computer, whatever. She's like, Cody, will you come back up and refill this out? We want something realistic.
No way.
And
did you change it?
And those aren't our exact words. She said something along the very similar right. We want something more realistic, Cody, that you can work towards. And I didn't change it. I grabbed the paper back from her. I think I turned it back in when I left the class, like I'd changed it. But those words have always stuck with me. And now she's my biggest Facebook fan.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But she knows that burnt me.
She didn't know who your dad was or anything?
No, not who my dad was. She thought it was unrealistic that I was leaving. She was our counselor.
Yeah.
So she already hated that I was leaving
so much.
60 days a year to go racing. So I think that was just the beef we had. And we didn't see eye to eye great, but that one burnt me for forever. Like, I still remember to this day, that was 10 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah. What did you put on there to make?
Yeah, I'm not making that money yet, but I had some dreams that I was going to be loaded.
All right.
Ford Raptor.
Yeah. But
Blue Alcantara.
But dude, that one burnt me. And ever since, dude, it's
so funny. I have the same thing. I have one of my yearbooks, 'cause I graduated high school from, I went all the way through.
Yeah.
But I think my senior yearbook, or maybe my junior yearbook, I think it was my English teacher, wrote you're way too smart for motorcycles, figure out something else to do with your life. He wrote it in my yearbook, actually. Yeah. It was it'd be a waste of your talents if you pursue what you're after.
And I think it's pretty, I don't know, maybe it's not talked about, but not normally. I feel like the stereotype is the motorcycle racer usually isn't the most book smart person.
Yeah.
If you're fast on a motorcycle, you're not book smart. It's kind of the stereotype.
Yeah, for sure.
So to yourself, and I felt the same way. I think that's what they seen, was I actually maybe had some potential to do something from schooling. And so they didn't like that. But
I think it's so interesting though, because if you said if you were a kid playing high school football and you were the star of the team and you wrote in your book, I want to be the next Tom Brady, it would have been
no, exactly.
I
had a kid in my class.
You got this.
I mean, I think a lot of people, they just don't understand it. I had the same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, what's your plan A? And I'm like, I want to race motorcycles. And they're like, oh, what's your plan B? I'm like, I don't have one.
Yep.
And they're just like, that's same sort of deal. It's not realistic. And it's like, what do you, like, you're supposed to dream. And I mean, we talk all the time when we look down at kids that want to be professional right now, and we're like, dude, this is a really bad time. And then I see kids like you, or even underneath you, like breaking through, doing it, making money, doing things differently. And I'm like, there's ways to continue to do this.
Oh yeah.
Like you can do it if you break through.
Yeah. No, you're right. They said like the football things were fine when the kids wanted to play football. And I think we had one kid from our school ever kind of make it in football, and he plays on Boise State right now, and he's really good. And so that's cool, but that was accepted and mine wasn't, so that always burnt me.
Yeah.
But there is ways. Yeah, there's ways to make money, and you got to treat it like a business.
Now, I feel like, because you can go on TikTok and learn about all these different
I'm trying
things.
to get my creator fund going.
Yeah, maybe.
But what's so like when you look at things and you look, because I've always noticed that you've been pretty smart. I mean, we've talked crazy enough. Like you say that you do a lot of stuff for taxes, and you've read a ton of things about doing different things in taxes and this, that, and the other with LLCs and blah, blah, blah. But you've always been, I would say, outside of the box and just a motorcycle racer. What other things are you trying to do, or how do you look at things differently to be successful in maybe a sport that's not, has so much money?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of steps, and there's a lot of planned steps in place that I'm slowly checking off and moving up that list for myself. And whether that's a nest egg or investing, or I'll be open about it. I do like I like to play with money in a way, like if that makes sense, like investments, and I don't necessarily do it, but dude, there's lots of ways out there to make your money work and make money for you. Like there's ways to have a decent amount of money and turn that into something more, whether that's in buying a property or buying something that has a good ROI on it, like something that's going to go big a couple of years down the road, or whether that's a stock or a truck or a watch, something like that. Like there's ways to make your money work for you, and I've always thought like that. My whole goal, like I've said, I just never want to have a 9-to-5, so I listen to podcasts all the time that are giving me, like, they're just people talking like this, but if you really listen to them and dissect them, you can get some advice for what to do with your money. And I'm not saying I have money, like crazy money or anything. I don't. But there's ways to make your money work for you.
What are some of the things you're talking about, like more specifically?
Like, investment accounts, like that. Buying land. I own a house, like James sold to me, and own a house here in DeLand at 20 years old. That's pretty crazy. I remember when I was 18 years old, I bought my first Ford Raptor. That was really cool. And just things like that. Yeah, I lost my butt on that one because I put some miles on it. So that wasn't a good ROI.
Oh, okay.
Mom will tell you that one. But and the insurance alone, being 18 and having a Ford Raptor, not worth it.
I can't even imagine. Is that something all stemming from your parents? It's not, generally isn't something that I feel like that most kids have on the forefront of their mind from that young of an age.
No, I don't think so. Dad and Mom have always been no matter what we have for money, we'll make it work. Like, Dad works his butt off here, and then he goes home and builds gates to make it so he can come back here, and Mom can be wherever, and Carly can be wherever. And I'm very blessed that I've been able to take my load off of them, like, completely, at this point in my life, and they don't have to pay for my rent or something like normal parents are paying for their college kids' rent or their cost of going to school. So I've been very lucky with that, and I've set myself up like that. But I don't know. It's not them. It's my parents.
So I don't like. Where are you learning it from? Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, I'm learning it from them, but it's not them that do it. Like they're giving me the advice, but maybe they're not the perfect example. Like in that way, like they own other land other than the house they have at home and stuff like that, and they make better choices on vehicles and things like that.
Yeah.
But
like, are you YouTubing? Are you like
lots of podcasts, dude? Whether it's Joe Rogan or there's this guy that what's his name, Dave something, forget his name right now, but he talks to people that like they call in. I'm a young self-made $100,000 in the bank.
Oh, Dave Ramsey.
Ramsey, yeah,
he's pretty good.
I like to listen to him and just things like that. Like, I live solo at my house. I think Hunter Bauer is going to rent a room for me for a couple weeks here before Daytona, but 90% of the year I'm solo. My girlfriend races mountain bike. She's always gone, like everything like that. So I literally am solo all the time, except for when I see you through the day. So when I go home, I have a podcast rolling the moment I walk in the house, and it's always rolling. Pause it when I get on the phone, turn it back on. So I just always like to have something going. I don't listen to music very often. So that's why my music taste kind of jumps from social media to social media post. It's not like a consistent brand, but that's because I don't listen to music. I enjoy podcasts.
And then the other thing is though, apart from investing and things of that nature, so you're kind of paving your path, your own way of, I would say, doing it in a different way of making money, right? So not even like taking your money and investing, right? But like, how are you doing things differently to find the sponsors, and how are you doing things differently to get relationships and, different things, and how are you looking at valuing yourself and, those types of things? Because I feel like you always have had really good relationships. You've always had unique things, like a lot of Supercross, sponsors, Oakley, this, that, the other, whatever, like different people. And then you've always had some different logos on there that I've never heard of.
Yep.
You've always kind of had like a big kind of rolling personal facade.
Yeah.
And where does that come from, and how did you accumulate that, and how do you, I'm mainly trying to speak to most kids growing up now, right? Because you're doing it and you're still 21.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm 21. Honestly, I see kids that are trying to do it the moment they turn pro in AFT, and it's too late. Like, I got my first, I've been with Oakley for 9 years. I believe it is this year, 9 years. And I got a deal with them when I was on a 250 as an amateur. And it's the simple things, and I won't give out all my secrets, but like, it's the simple things of finding the right person there. All you have to do is a little research on Google, or there's other websites that you can look up who the athlete product manager or whatever is, and you find that, and you go on social media, you find their email somewhere on some black hole in the internet, and you shoot your shot. Like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's the most famous quote that I live by. And dude, each off season, I'm trying the most random things. Like, and it's not because I'm just here to like burn a company at all. I'm not. I want to build a relationship with them. And I think about like, I had Red Bull for 2 years, and that was great. That was through the team. And they didn't continue because AFT's not in the greatest spot at the time being. And then I left the sport. But like smaller sponsors than Red Bull, like a watch sponsor or something outside the industry that can better yourself, and you can help them kind of grow into your industry that you're in, like myself, the niche of flat track. It's kind of a good trade-off, whether it's always just a freebie deal or a discount code or whatever. You got to start somewhere. And I see these kids trying to start to get whether it's a motocross gear sponsor at the age of 16, like, yeah, great. But if you would have started that at 12 years old, you'd be to the point you'd be a real good deal with them when you're going pro, and you can actually make something out of it, where they're just starting too late. And that's something Dad has been great at. He was great at the sponsor side of things. And we just always try to build a good relationship with them. Like, I'm so close with everybody that's on my leathers. Like, I could call them up and ask them what their coffee order was this morning. They tell me, and I could hang up and we'd be fine. Like that's the type of relationship I want to build with everybody. And they're always a part of it. Like, it's just.
Have you always been a part of it with your dad, as you like calling your sponsors or emailing? And did your dad teach you how to do all that? Or?
Yeah, when I was 7 or 8, when I could really start writing, like typing something out and it making sense grammatically, he would make me at every race. The deal was he'd pay for the entries, take me to the race, whether it was 6 hours away and 30 minutes down the road, whatever. But I'd have to write a race report, and I'd type it out on email on my old, whatever it was, Kindle Fire back then, or who knows what. And later down the road, I figured out how to voice type. That saved me some time. But I'd write my own race report, like talk about each session and stuff like that. And in the middle of it, I would thank my sponsors for what they did. Like, at the time I was Shinko tires. My Shinko tires hooked up great off the line. I got my first whole shot of the weekend. Things like that. And he'd proofread it, and then it'd go out to all my sponsors on email from my email myself. And people give me crap. I have an AOL. That's like old school.
I do too, dude.
Same.
Yeah.
I got AIM.
AIM.
Oh, yeah.
AIM, dude. That's way before your time.
Yeah, I don't know that one. All right, I'm not that old.
You ever have a Zanga?
Nah, dude.
This guy's never even written with a pen before. He goes, when I started writing, fucking starts typing. He doesn't even know what paper and pencil is.
He said his first thing was a Kindle, bro. What? It was like 2 years ago.
Candle Fire? No, dude, that was like 8 years old. But
We're
anyways,
getting old, dude. That was like 10 years ago.
yeah, Dad, he made me do that, and I'm so thankful he did. And that quit when I went professional because it was finally on a big enough scene. There's still certain people that I know don't have social medias or anything to follow along, so I'll still send them an update each weekend. But back then it was him pushing me to do that, and then when I went pro, it was me all on my own, taking over that side of it. He would always proofread back then I started to. One of the big things I remember with the Oakley deal, I told him just a random thing, like, dude, I got an Oakley sponsorship. How? Like, he couldn't believe it. Like, he didn't know I was trying on my own. That was whatever I was, 12, 13 years old, I think then. That's when I started doing it myself. Like, he still helps to this day, but that's when I started to actually put my involvement into it, not him do all of it. And each year it's got more and more that way. Like, me chasing down new companies to be a part of the sport. Whether that could be so random, like, a bicycle sponsor or things like that. And I've always tried to look at that supercross vibe because, I mean, I'm a racer and I want this to be my career, but I want it to grow to a supercross level. That's probably unrealistic, but I think with the right people involved and the right people behind the scenes of the sport, it could get there maybe one day. And that's my unrealistic goal.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it seemed like flat track was kind of heading in a good direction for a little while, and everything kind of got more challenging, I think, for everyone for a little while after COVID or during COVID was tough, but hopefully it gets back to something with the classes being a little more competitive and whatnot.
I think it just needs a little bit of stability, right? Same rules, same this, and just working on get some really, really good tracks and, just a little bit of stability instead of, like every single headline taking something from an Indian or an Indian leaving and then a production and this just try to get some of the confusing stuff away. But I mean, like, where do you see flat track? Where do you want? I mean, I know you want it to be supercross level, but when you look at flat track from, being a year away and being in the road race paddock and, just actually living and breathing in a different paddock, what do you want or try to see to have some of the flat track? Like, where do you want it to move, or what do you think?
Yeah. I'd say the biggest thing was the road racing paddock was official. Like, the simplest thing, the minute by minute schedule. That's huge. Dirt track, we're getting to that point. It's getting better.
Yeah.
But the hard part is track prep. Nobody ever takes that into account. And all the Facebook warriors, they always say, like, it's the longest program. Well, we have to have a good track or it's going to be a crappy race.
Yeah.
I'd say that was big. They're so official in that aspect. There you go. They're so official in that aspect. MotoAmerica for sure. And man, that was cool to be a part of. And I think flat track can get there. Like, my goal is, I don't know how I can help, but I'm trying to be more in contact with the people at American Flat Track this offseason and let them know what's all going on in my program and how they can help me and how I can help them. And I've never really done that before. When I was Red Bull KTM, Chris Fillmore did all that. And then my 1 year I ran my own team with Rick Ware, I kind of did none of it. We kind of just ran a team and went. And so I'm kind of taking that back into my zone again of what I control. And whether that involves good media, I feel like that's something, James, you brought to the sport for a bit, and then when you left, it was gone. You had the cool, good video guys there like Gray and Sam Thurman and Ian and all those guys that came out, and flat track had never seen footage like that. We had Thunder, but Thunder can't do it for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm trying to bring back because at the current time we don't. There's kind of one guy doing it, and it's good. It's something. It's at least
just not enough.
It's not enough. So I'm trying to do that. I have a really talented kid that's helping me out a lot with that. And that's the goal. I mean, I think the simplest thing of better media marketing is going to be huge for the sport, and explaining to American Flat Track that that's a big thing for them as well as a series, because MotoAmerica kills it on social media. And social media is everything nowadays in business and in our racing especially. And MotoAmerica kills that. Like, I think I've seen that clip of you at Mid-Ohio like 85 times, you crashing the bagger, and you at whatever that was, Jersey or
VAR.
VAR, yeah. Like, just clips like that are growing the sport, as much as you don't want yourself being posted of wadding up, but it's doing good things. And AFT doesn't really have that because they don't have enough people there to cover everything that happens. The stuff happens, but then we don't have it to watch back. Yeah. And so that's kind of a step I'm taking this year, is to try and bring that back a little bit, and just keep taking steps with that. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's really, really key. I think that people overlook. I think one thing, it's budget, right? A lot of people don't have the budget to bring somebody. It's one thing that I've always, from my dad, pride myself on, of always, before I eat, almost trying to have that. And I've always been looked at, sometimes wrong, of maybe trying to do it too much and not focusing on racing enough. But I think that's something that's pretty cool. And speaking with the series, I think not enough people do speak to the series to try to collaborate. I think they see there's a pretty big distance between the series and how, they're just doing their thing, we're doing our thing. And I think, one of the things I learned in BSB was how to use the series for your benefit. And I think that's something, a lot of people can grasp. And I think that's a really good point. Eyeballs are everything, whether it be viral clips of crashes or this, that, and the other. And, maybe disassociating their channel with the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a lot of things when you see viral stuff happening, it's like MotoGP, but it's TNT pulling clips from them. And, sometimes there's an emotional attachment, like, oh, I don't want to post that clip because I know all the riders. Well, they don't care.
Yep.
They do, but they don't. They just post the clip because for them it's views. And I think sometimes the sport needs to be disassociated with the media that is covered.
Yep.
But I think that's a really good way to look at it, and how you can try to help and bring the series back. And, when you might be able to speak on this with him, because you said you ran your team, your final team in 2024.
Yep.
What was that like? Like, coming back, I mean, your dad's always done it.
Yep.
He's always ran his own team. But I remember you were grinding, like you were framing your bikes after every weekend. I think a lot of people don't know how involved and how, I don't want to say single-handedly, but almost single-handedly, like, really made your 2024 program like work. I remember you in your garage. I remember like the snaps sending me of framing 2 bikes after every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we can just get into what it was like before that, and then how I went into that. Like, the end of 2023, I'd won my second championship with Red Bull KTM. Went down to LA for SMX and the 60th anniversary Alpine Star party. Did that weekend, and at the time I had more years on my contract with Red Bull KTM. I'd signed an extension my first year, mid-year. That was my second year into it. I had more years than that left. And went home. That was the end of September.
So you were already signed. You had a deal already. There was
a deal signed in mid 2022 that lasted through 24.
Okay.
And this is the end of 23. Like, this lasted through 24 end. So I would have had another year and an option year after that, just like every contract. And yeah, I went down to LA, did that weekend into September of 2023, won my second title. Roger gave me a cool little banner, whatever, a poster, and got to hang out with the team. And literally got home, was actually driving back from my girlfriend's house on a random day, and it was October the 13th. And remember it, I'll never forget it. Usually Fillmore calls me and we're joking at this time. We had 2 years of a great relationship and super close, like one of my best friends, let alone my team manager. And he calls me and I'm like, yo, what up, whatever, like joking around. He goes, dude, I need you to like focus in for a second. I'm like, I'm driving home. Life's great. Like, I'm having off season for a couple of weeks. Gonna go back to Florida, get back ready to go do a third title with Red Bull KTM. And he goes, you need to kind of focus in for a minute. Quit joking. He's like, this is serious. I'm like, what? He's like, wait, we're not going racing next year, man. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, why? I thought you just, because at that time, the week before, they told Max they weren't. And I knew there was some problems going on with KTM, but I knew I was on contract, so I was like, there's no way, man. Like, Max wasn't. He was in the middle of negotiations. They told him they couldn't do it. Max told me that. Felt bad for Max. And then I was like, I'm fine. I'm going to be there. Like, I've won him 2 championships. Surely I'm still here. We have a contract still. Fillmore calls me, says that. Dude, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we had a parting ways agreement on my email I came through. Like, I was like, no, this is real. Like, I remember driving home in my Raptor that day. It's a couple hours from my girlfriend's to mine. And driving home in my Raptor that day on I-90, and I'm doing like 100 plus, just like pissed off. Like, dude, I just won 2 titles, most wins in a season, tied that, like crazy stats. We've had a great year. We're all good friends. Like, what happened? And at the time I was just so livid about it that I didn't realize what was actually going on with KTM. And yeah, it was brutal. Like, I got home and mom and dad and I were like, what are we gonna, like, we had it set up, now we got to go back to running our own thing again, like, huh? Just a lot of things that crumbled right then in that couple 24-hour period of October 13th, 23. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go through that again, but I'm so thankful it happened, because I got to kind of get my old band back together, my amateur kind of program, and take on professional racing with George and Bob Lamphere and Wally Brown. And then Rick Ware jumped on board at them right before Daytona, and we had a really stout program. But KTM, I'll never say anything bad about them. They're still family. Like, if I wanted to, I could probably call John and he might answer today. And I'm really proud of that I've kept that relationship good, and Fillmore especially, and Auntie and all them. And they really took care of me the best way they could have when we had to part ways. They gave me a great package to take instead of a compensation. I chose to take the bikes. They were stock motors. They wouldn't give me factory parts and motors, but they gave me the bikes from 23. So not new ones like we normally get for each next year, but they gave me my 23 bikes and my 23 championship bike, but some race bikes, some spare parts, lots of spare parts like wheels and triple clamps and suspension and stuff that I would need, front brakes, all that. And they gave me every connection they had on the team, whether that was Twin Air or all these companies, and they made that introduction. And it was at the time I was like, I want to still race, so I have to take this option instead of just take the money and fund my own program out of my pocket. And so I took that. I bought a race van from Rockstar Husky, one of their factory vans. They were getting rid of it at the end of that year, and that was a purchase I had to make for myself. Like, if I wanted to go racing, I got to do some things. I'm not going to be able to get everybody to cover everything. So that was a hit I took, was I bought my own race van. Still have it to this day. It's a great van. Love it. Ran the team last year out of it again, their Team Roberts team. And so they gave us all that stuff, and then we started really like putting things together and getting the bikes ready, and a lot of R&D work with Wally Brown, and Dad and I just doing a lot of testing, trying to figure out things we wanted to change that we always wanted to on Red Bull KTM and never got the chance to. And yeah, it's no secret, 24 was crazy. Like, the week before the season, I got a big deal with Rick Ware, and he came on board and started the season great, won the season opener again, never trailed in points. But what went on behind the scenes, nobody ever got to see, and I wish I had somebody to follow me that year with a camera, because it was really cool. And it's probably what burnt me out and made me want to take this road racing opportunity last year, because, dude, I was driving, like, I raced Ventura in Chico, and I had Butler still. Andrew Butler was my mechanic all 3 of those years, but he has a full-time job. He did at the time. Now he has since got a job on a good team in American Flat Track, but he had a full-time job then, so he couldn't leave and have the bikes at his place. So it was more on me. And Dad has his gate job, and he's trying to fund himself to be able to come to the track, because we didn't have the money to, like, Dad and myself, like, stuff like that. You know, we were just making it by to race, and I still had bonuses to make some money and stuff, but that was all contingent on if I won. And so, like, we went to California trip, and Dad drove it out there after Daytona and Sonoya, and we'd won 2 out of the 3 opening rounds. And like, after the Chico round, I won that night, and I dropped Butler off at the airport in Reno, like 6 hours from Chico or something, about 4 a.m., something like that, early in the morning, I think it was, or something like that. And I was in Charlotte by like Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, something. I stopped in St. Louis, seen Max, but I drove my race van with all my stuff across the country. Had to be in Charlotte by that weekend for a Rick Ware thing, and to get Wally my motors to get them refreshed before the next weekend. And like, I get to Charlotte, and people don't see, like, I like to help as much as I can, and Wally's doing all the internal stuff. He doesn't need to wash a bike and frame a bike. So I'm framing bikes myself, giving him the motor onto his motor bench of the shop. I'm doing all the cleaning, the new polishing, whatever I wanted to tinker on, grease and everything. And then when it's done, I put it back in. I don't want him to have to do all that work that's not really what he needs to be doing. He needs to be focusing on the numbers and stuff, you know? So doing that all year was crazy, dude. I pulled so many motors, and I can do it pretty quick now on a KTM. Not really. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it though, and I did, and I loved it. And like, the weekend between,
Were you framing after every single race?
there was a couple rounds I didn't. After Ventura, I didn't, because I only had 4 days there from Ventura to Chico. After Sonoya, I framed one of them, the race winning bike. And sometimes, I mean, frame like everything off but the motor.
Yeah.
Sometimes the motor came out if we were swapping from a half mile to a short track package, because we did have some spare motors and 2 main bikes. But like, yeah, before we won New York mid-season, one of the half miles up there, tied the career record on wins with Shayna back then in 2024, and then had 13 days off or whatever until New Jersey. And everybody's getting a ride. They all have their motorbikes with them. I didn't bring that stuff because I only had the race van and enough room for my bikes. And I went to Solid Performance and in the back room framed my bikes and gave them suspension to tune up. And I just sat in the back room at Solid with Evan, and he'd walk in every now and then. He's busy, obviously, and I'm doing it all myself. And he just like, everybody that got to see that couldn't believe it that I was having to do that. And I knew in my head though, come race day, and I like to be hands-on in a way, but this year I'm definitely taking a step back having Dave and Michelle. But on a single, I like to be hands-on, and I knew in my head that it was my accountability. Like, if for some reason my motor mount bolt came out, like, it's on me. I can't blame anybody else, and I kind of enjoyed that. And I'd like to know everything was ready. Like, nothing against Butler. I trust the guy with my life. But just as a racer, you like to know what's actually been done and make sure, even if you trust them that they're telling the truth, you want to know for sure and somehow have proof. At least I figure like that. And so I didn't ever really know with Red Bull KTM what was actually being done. And I did, like, I seen it sometimes, but not always. So when I did it that year, dude, it was huge. Like, the mental confidence it gave me to show up at Jersey after that winning the week prior and then know what I just did to my bikes all week and how ready they are, more ready than they were the weekend prior or whatever. It was huge. And that was a big part of my program. Yeah, I was staying up late and driving across the country, putting 70,000 miles on that van that year, which 80% of them were myself, and then some of them were Dad when I'd have to fly to do something else. But that was big, and now to be back on something where I don't have to do that's huge. Like, you just got to go through those times, and it teaches you stuff.
Did you learn that from factory KTM? Like, did you try to use them, that role model of like, all right, they're framing things, they're sitting here, like, why? Like, okay, I never framed anything at all when I raced. Like,
have you framed anything ever?
No.
No, me neither.
No,
I pulled the linkage off his motorbike last week.
I'd actually rather not touch a single thing on my bike because it makes me more confident in my package.
True. I'm pretty nervous myself when I do.
Like, when I
anything.
change my rears on my own road race bike, I'm like, for the first like 10 laps, I'm just worried the thing's just gonna fall off the back.
I'll be brutally honest with you. I've changed like 4 tires or 4 or 5 rears on that Supermoto, and I can never get them to fill up. Like, they're just squared. Like, to be honest, Cody's like definitely a saver. But was the KTM thing? Did they set the standard for you when you did it yourself?
Yeah, the Justin Pittman especially, he was kind of the head of that, the week to week. He is the most Sano guy I've ever seen work on a flat track bike. Like,
what?
Sano, like clean, likes it clean.
Okay.
He kind of set that standard. I hung out for some weeks, like before Lima. I remember it specifically. This is what kind of always stuck in my head. Lima 22, my first Lima win. I stayed with him for the week, and dude, the guy before Lima were framing bikes after like testing or something on a clay track. He's framing bikes to get ready to go get sandblasted at Lima, and he's like, "We're not taping anything because you're going to be out front." Blah blah blah. Well, I made it happen that year. The next year I didn't. That year I didn't even really get roosted, but one corner in the dash by Tom. But it's like just the effort they were putting in. I wanted to replicate that because it was what the success was for 2 years. So I'm like, if I change anything, I'm not going to have success. Mm-hmm. And we did it, and yeah, I mean, there was a lot of late nights, and literally after the season was over in 24, I dropped family off at the airport after the banquet and dropped girlfriend off at the airport and drove the 28 hours home, like straight back to Micah, Washington with all my stuff.
That's insane.
It is.
Won the
crazy.
championship and just boosted it home. And I think I left everything in the van for probably a couple of weeks.
Just done.
Makes you grateful when you don't have to drive anymore. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
What's what kind of like budget did you have to pull together for a 450 program to win a championship by yourself? Like, and was that financially all on you, or like did your mom run the books? Like how were you able to frame bikes, do all this, and manage finances?
Yeah, 24, that was a big year. 22 and 23, I was learning a lot how to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to do the stress of the bike work. 24, Mom kind of took it back over for me. And Dad would help when he was home, and I'd always be on the road. They'd always be flying out of Washington to the race weekends, and they made it to a lot of the rounds. But I'd say more than anything, just
I mean, because you had bikes, parts, and stuff like that we covered.
I'd say,
but like,
I'd say a budget realistically to pay my mechanic a salary, pay motor builder for building all the motors, Wally Brown, travel, bike maintenance. Obviously, I got a really good package from KTM that I didn't have to pay for, so that took a lot of the cost. But realistically, to run a team at the level I tried to that year, and we used all of it, was over 150 grand.
wow, without bikes or parts.
That was with me. That's not me budgeting in that I bought my own van or me.
Yeah.
If we would have had three Red Bull KTM bikes we got. And
So you had to essentially take like championship bonuses to buy a van and this.
that's what I did. I took my 23 championship bonus and bought a Mercedes Sprinter, a used one from Husqvarna, and
went all in.
Dude, that's what I want to do. I knew if I invest in my career at those ages that it's going to pay off in the end, and I hope it will.
I don't think people really realize still what it takes to win.
No.
Like realistically, and not even just money. Like, all right, if you give somebody who's a 8th place rider $150K now, that they're probably not going to win.
No.
Right? Like it's all the little things.
All the details matter.
Yeah. And you know more than anybody. Like you've ran several of your own programs and you could probably speak further on that. But I think that's the one, maybe the most impressive championship that you have, Cody, is that year. Because I think you're maybe expected with the Rebel KTM. But
does that one feel different?
Yeah, for sure. I put this one, or we brought this bike over just because it's kind of the coolest one, just because it's got this sweet acro downpipe, but and it still runs.
Because it's the Mac Daddy.
But that's the most meaningful one to me, for sure. It's the most hard it took. Right? Yeah, Dad and I say a lot of it was me on the weeks, but there was still so much of Dad and Butler. But it was just the three of us, really the two of us, because Butler was a flying guy. How much heart we poured in that year and how much work it took, and the people that kept getting behind it, like new sponsors mid-season that were helping and believing in it once they seen it was still going to be successful, which is fine. I get it. That was the most meaningful year for sure for me and my family. And I've never really shared that there was that much that went on behind the scenes. I think everybody thought it was a turnkey program, and Rick Ware had his own guys in the shop prepping my bikes, or Butler was, but I mean, yeah, they did the race weekend stuff, but everything else was on Dad and I, and that takes a lot to win as many races as we did that year and never trailing points again. And
I mean, you're racing against Essison that has a full-time shop. You're racing against Bigelow, I think, at the time, right? Was it Biggs?
Yeah, I think it was Biggs that year with Chase.
I mean,
yeah, Estenson has however many dozen guys on salary at the shop full-time, and then I'm trying to go up against that. It's tough. And the miles showed it. The miles are where you need the money. And I didn't have it. Yeah. We got close, but I'm thankful for it. And I think something that really, there's certain things that stick with me that burn me and that I use for motivation, I'd say. And I remember Ralph saying something at the end of the 2024 season on the broadcast of Lake Ozark. He said, well, if something about Tom having a bad night at round one in Daytona and then something else a bad night. If he didn't have those 2 nights, he might be your champion because he won that night. He won one more race than me that year. And I don't think people understand when you're running your own team and you're also fighting for a championship, you're really conservative towards the end of that year. Because I'm like, I got a lot of money on the line here. Like if I wanted to, if there was no championship, if we just raced all year long, dude, I would have turned it up another notch. I don't think there's any reason I couldn't have won 10 races that year. There's just a lot that went in behind the scenes.
You're just trying to get to the next race.
Yeah. And that burnt me big. And Ralph and I are good. Nothing against Ralph Shaheen. But he said that on the on the broadcast. And I remember watching it back, driving home that few days after the season was over. And I was so livid. I'm like, no.
Are you a hothead?
No. Not a hothead, just like things motivate me like that.
They just calling out Ralph on the pod.
I know, I love it. I hope Ralph sees this.
I hope Ralph sees it. He probably has no clue he did that.
Probably not, no.
And he's
probably not.
But things like that, dude. When people say that stuff, that fires
especially
me
when you're grinding too. People don't see it, so it's like very.
And I never shared it, so I didn't expect people to see it.
Yeah.
I think one time I put a video out of me changing suspension, so people thought I was only swapping suspension. Yeah. Just like things I didn't want my rivals to see.
Are you a big mind game guy?
You gotta be mentally strong, dude.
I know, but do you play mind games with with people? I mean, you have some sort of like swag about you and like confidence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only joke when I call you Deeks, but like do you have a little bit of that?
Oh, 100%. Like, I think that's one of my strengths, and Dad's been instilling that in me since I was a kid, is you have to be mentally strong to do anything, and especially be a professional athlete and to make a living doing it, you have to be strong. So
Yeah, but when I'm saying mind games, are you like fucking with other riders? Like, are you
not really. There was times I did things like Lima 2024. Tom and I had some battles that year, and he got me. I won it 2 years in a row, and then he got me that year. And that heat race, I remember that day, I was messing with him big time, like, because he was way faster. That was the year I was building my own stuff. Wally was building my motors, and we built conservative things so they didn't blow up. We couldn't afford a mechanical.
Yeah.
Where Estenson could have the R&D to build something rocket ship.
Yep.
So at Lima, Tom's putting like 4 bike lanes on me on a straightaway on a half mile, and I'm on my one that I can run off the limiter all the way around Lima, that motor build, so it's not as fast, just more longevity built. And I remember that heat race, dude. I'd run him through the fence, like all the way up to the fence, and look back at him, and I was playing those mind games, and then it worked out in his favor. Yeah, it didn't work out for me. I was bummed that night. That was probably the most mad I was in 2024, was to come up that short of that win there and chase him all the way down on a slower bike. But no, I play mind games a little. I like to study. Like this first year, I'm not going to say I'm going to play mind games. I don't expect to come in and win at all. So I don't need to be.
Truly, you don't expect that?
I don't expect myself to come in and win. Like behind the scenes, obviously I have goals that I'll never publicly share, but like I know the work I put in, and I'll be happy with what the outcome is. And I know there's already an outcome in place from somebody else. Like it's already planned, and we're just living in it. And like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
It is what it is. But no, I don't expect to play. Yeah, I play mind games, but I like to study. Like I took that first year in 22 to study kind of, and then we'll start.
Calculated.
Yeah. I like to be smart, man.
Yeah. Methodical.
Yeah. Going back to 2018, was that was like your first year you kind of made some money and did well, right?
Yeah, 22
when you were 18.
When I was 18.
2018. What were some of your we have the segment, the Gulf Point Advisors Money Move segment. What were some of the things you did? You said you went out and splurged on a Raptor, maybe not the best money decision, but did you do anything else? Like did you dump some money into Robinhood or something like that on crypto?
Yeah.
Or what were some of the things you actually did when you got some of that money coming in finally for the first time?
In all 3 of those years, especially that first year, I won a lot of Dash for Cashes. Not as many. I didn't win as many main events as I won Dash for Cashes that year.
Those are 2,500 pops, right?
Yeah.
How many of those?
I think that year I won 7 main events, almost 10. Maybe it was 10. I can't remember.
10?
I think so.
It's nice.
Somewhere around there. That's just the 4-lap sprints, 9 or 10. I don't know. I won a lot of them and didn't pull through on the main events on those days. But that first year was like that was going to investments, not Robinhood. I messed around on Robinhood when I was younger. I'd used, yeah.
When you were younger, when you were like probably weren't old enough to be on Robinhood.
Yeah. No, yeah, I used Dad's name and I would give him cash and put his stuff into it. But no.
When I was that age, I was just asking my dad for money to go buy fucking Snickers bars at the deli or something.
I know. I even feel so much further behind now talking to you.
But I was messing with that stuff. People were like, think I'm bullshitting, but these are true stories. Like this is legit.
Yeah.
But
did you have do you have like a
I
advisor or is it your parents?
Well, I always use my parents, but I have somebody in Columbia, Missouri, and then also somebody in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, kind of financial advisor up there in Idaho, just right across the border, Washington from me, 15, 20 minutes from my house. He kills it. Really smart dude, and I have a good relationship with him. And I was taking money from those dashes and stuff that first year. I did splurge on a Raptor. At the time, they were really up. And I bought a used one. I've never bought new. But I bought a used one. It was a 2018 in 2022 when I was 18. And it was probably not the brightest purchase, but I was making really good money.
You didn't have anything either. Like you didn't have anything. You lived at home.
Yeah, I had a van.
Yeah.
And a skid steer.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally a van and a skid steer. And I don't know. I bought things like that. I made myself a rule because Mom told me, you're going to start making money now after I won Volusia. She's like, you're going to start making money. You need to have some write-offs. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Raptor baby.
I don't really know what write-offs are. So I made myself
Just write it off.
Yeah, I made myself a deal to buy like training gear and stuff. And so after a race win, I would buy some training gear. Well, that at the end of the year, I only won 7 races, so that added up to maybe $1,000. Didn't really help much, but it did some. But I learned that year that I need to actually, you got to spend money to make money, I guess is how you write it. And yeah, I mean,
who taught you to go with financial advisor? Was that something that your parents taught you, or is this something that you kind of did by yourself? Like what? I mean, because it's the reason I ask. It's super scary for me to do.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm super late in the game about doing it. But somebody your age, I mean, I wish I did it. We always talk about this, and the fact that you're doing it is so inspiring for people that are even younger than you to be able to do it. So like, why did you start that?
Yeah. Honestly, it was Arnie Wick. He made that connection. The guy that Fast Track Racing, him and Arnie and Amy Wick, they're been always kind of around the paddock and up in the Washington area, Pacific Northwest, and he's been a part of my teams for years. I think he's on all 3 of my championship suits with logos of some sort. He's always been a part of my program, and even as an amateur.
Part of my program that year. Yeah.
And he made a connection with me to this guy up there in Coeur d'Alene, and he told me he'd match whatever I put in at first, which wasn't much money at all, but I put in a little bit and he put in a little bit, so I had that much money in there to start, which was so cool, and I'll always be thankful for him for starting that with me, and it's began to set me up for later in life.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we talk about it all the time when we were younger, for sure. We'd be in a lot better place now.
We fucked up so big.
Especially with inflation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucked.
Well, that's our Gulf Point Money Move segment. Thanks for sharing that. Not a lot of people want to talk about money stuff. So, founded in 2016, Gulf Point is a boutique investment firm led by longtime listener Tris Millard, helping clients nationwide build smart financial plans for the future, like our boy over here. Have questions or want to learn more? Call 603-731-3230 or email tris@gulfpointadvisors.com. Visit gulfpointadvisors.com or just look them up online. Gulf Point Advisors, investing with purpose. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC and Gulf Point Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial. Jimmy, what do you think? We hit him with it? You got anything else?
I kind of still want to talk a little bit about, some of the mental side. I think, you've had, did you ever have like your Honda year was what, 2021? I remember that year. That year was really tough.
Oh,
right. It was really tough for both of us.
Yeah,
we were both in a really, really bad spot, but you're still super young. Did that help you when you had a really bad year last year? And have you ever been in a place where it's been dark, or, where like, I don't even know what that is like, but have you been into a place or it's, depressed or any of that sort of thing where you're just seeing it's really, really tough. You don't want to do it. You don't want to wake up in the morning or something like that. Like, is it?
Yeah. I mean, 21, it wasn't no secret. It was tough. As an amateur, I was winning a lot of stuff against all the pros that were winning races on the weekend. So then to transfer over and be a professional in 2021 and not have the success I was kind of thinking I would. I was winning all these preseason races and stuff in 21 on a Honda, and then I went pro and didn't. And that was tough, but
I remember night one at Volusia.
Yeah, I blew up like 18 motors. I did blow up a lot of motors that year. There was a new Honda motor, but that's not an excuse. I just straight up wasn't riding well at a lot of the places. Like I missed a main event at Chicago and tracks that I really the next year would have excelled at and probably won at.
Yeah.
But just rookie moves and whatever. But that definitely let me handle last year a lot better, having gone through that. If I would have done last year, if I would have started my pro rank or professional years on this bike and just started out winning and went from there, I mean, I think there's not many people that do that for a reason, because you have to learn to win. Like it's simple as that. And even if you're good, you have to learn to win. But that's what allowed my last year to be kind of a little easier on me mentally, and I kind of knew it going into it, what I was up for. almost how I wish I would have looked at 2021 when I was a rookie. But I mean, to answer your question, no, I don't necessarily think I've ever been in like a dark place. Yeah, you go through stuff as a family or things like that maybe you get down on yourself or whatever. But honestly, dude, we're only here for such a short period of time. And I get it. People go through things and they say they're in a dark place and stuff like that. And I understand that. And I've watched that from the outside with people. But I can say I've never really been in that spot to feel like that for myself. I feel like it's so much easier in my world, the way I look at it, to be positive about things. Like, dude, literally I crashed at New Jersey at the end of the year, and it's kind of probably crappy to say, but I crashed at Jersey when I crashed and Ella ran me over and she went down as well the last round of the season. And I walked back to the pits from the track, like from getting checked out or whatever. I give Dad a high five, and I'm like, it's done, it's over. Like, when I could have been pissed that I didn't finish the race. It's like, it's done, it's over. Like, we're done with the year. Give him a high five, and everybody's happy. Like, it's in my world, and Dad's been a huge factor in that. It's so much easier to be positive for me, and I just don't let that happen. I'd say maybe 2023 Sacramento Mile, I got 10th, and that was the closest I ever came to losing the red plate in those 3 years. Was that next round, that weekend after, it was Sacramento into the weekend after, 2 miles, and we kept asking KTM for more power, Max and I, and we literally were like, looked like we were on stock
you
bikes.
were slow. Bikes were slow.
And, yeah, terribly slow. But we had a guy come up, Leighton Rice. He's kind of the head of the motor department there at KTM. He came up to his first race, 6 hours north of LA. He's seen that. He was super disappointed, like, just like, this is what we're giving these guys. And he went to work on it and tackled it himself. And by the next weekend at Red Mile, we had the pace to do it. Just both Max and I didn't ride great races, but we were actually with the lead pack. Where Sacramento, I finished way off the lead. And I'd say that week was tough. Like, literally that night, I was over it. I remember maybe it was karma getting me a year later or the end of that season, but I remember telling Mom, I flew home from Sacramento back up to Washington. I got home and I told Mom, like, dude, I want to run my own team. Like, this is stupid that we can't get any more power out of these things. I'm like, I'm trying to win a championship and we're running around on a stock bike. Like, I literally watched a stock Yamaha go by me on the straightaway. I know it's stock because I know who it was. And getting drafted by people that, yeah, literally punch a big hole in the air. I was like, yeah. So I said that to Mom, and I think maybe karma got me, and I had to run my own team the next year. But I'd say I was in a dark spot then a little bit, just for a couple days. Like, I was just over it. And then I didn't know behind the scenes they were working on motors and stuff, just simple thing. And we showed up to Red Mile, first session. I'm like, dude, it's better. And then by the end of that year, I won my first mile at Springfield. They just kept working on the mile package.
And what attributed to you building that resilience at a young age? Like, is that just because you were hanging out with older people or your parents, or is that something in you?
I think it's all three. Like I said, I like to hang out with people that are kind of the next generation up from me. Whether that's my parents, their friends around our area. We have a bunch of motorheads in our group around our area up in Washington. Whether that's George Latus, Daryl Jones, Bob Lamphere, at the time when I was KTM, Chris Fillmore, John Hines, and Auntie, all these guys that and peers that I've looked up to, that kind of instilled it in me. But I also think there's a little bit of it that's just, dude, I'm huge on documentaries and stuff like that, and I love those stories. Like, I just love a good, like, not underdog win, but just like a true story about somebody working their butt off for something they want. And it drives the girlfriend nuts. We can't sit down and watch one of her kind of fun movies or whatever because I love the documentaries and I can't be entertained by an Avatar or something. Sound like an idiot here, but like, it's that's me. I just love that stuff and I thrive off of it. And
my final thing is what would be one piece of advice would you give to the next generation who want to be a champion, like yourself? Like, what can they do to start now? Or what would you give? I think
the couple steps. You got to build your brand. Start from a young age with building your brand. Like, whether that's a good social media presence and channel of being real and letting people in. Don't just post the ungrammatically correct race report that's a run-on sentence for 85 sentences. Be real. Talk about what happened. Let people in. Aside from that, be friendly. There's a lot of young kids who win these 85, 250 races that are kind of stuck up. Like, yeah, it's cool you're winning these races, but you gotta, like, you never know who is gonna walk up to you at a race, and you gotta be friendly with everybody. So be friendly, be real, and ride. Like, a lot of kids are just riding flat track. You gotta be riding everything. To the way this sport has progressed these past few years at the talent level of the singles class where you enter the sport, you have to be riding a lot of different things to be well-rounded. Unless you just want to win at Lima or something like that, then just ride cushions. But if you want to be a champion, you got to ride a lot. And main thing, to finish it off, dude, you got to be having fun. If you're not enjoying it, quit now. Like, if you're not straight up enjoying it, be done. Go get an office job.
It's good.
I think it's great.
What's your death row meal?
Hold on, why did you go to death row? I know why. I know why you went to death row.
Why?
Because you just stole a Raptor off the Ford dealership. The blue Alcantara.
Dude, that thing better come through.
Dude, so, all right, so you stole a Ford Raptor, so you're going to death row. What's your death row meal? He says he's been working on this.
I've been working.
Last night, he was like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, I got it. Prime rib.
Where?
Place in Yakima, Washington, not far from where my girlfriend lives. It's called Canyon River, I think. Canyon River, something like that. Cowache Canyon, that's what it is, Cowache Canyon. And prime rib, baked, loaded mashed potato, sweet potato if we're really going to go in, with some good broccoli and stuff like that. But I want a creme brulee, and I want a massive creme brulee for dessert. Like, huge. Like, I want it the size of a pumpkin pie at Costco.
Like creme brulee like that?
Oh, dude, I would eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if I could. But
Really?
It's probably not. Oh,
That's
I love
crazy.
it.
You're 21. What, you drinking or no?
No. I mean, I have, for sure. I'll be honest. I've done stuff like that for sure. But no, I'm not. I haven't. No, not drinking right now. That's for sure. Maybe after we win a race or something, we'll have a beer with the boys. But doesn't interest me. I got too much on the line.
Even on death row meal?
Oh, on death row meal we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
I'll probably have this vanilla. Dude, it's the best flavor. It's back 2 days ago. I'm not sponsored anymore. Go try it out. It's unreal.
This is how you get sponsors, guys.
Right on,
Well,
boys.
we did 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it was a good one.
Yeah, sweet.
Learned a lot, and thanks for sharing a lot of stuff. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to get into the nitty gritty on some things, but appreciate you getting into it.
I think it's the only way these younger kids are gonna like actually learn what to do is if these top level guys are on podcasts and stuff and they're not sharing how they got there, how are they gonna learn?
Yeah.
So I gotta do the same thing, try to help.
And I think it's just good that you're able to just tell your story. And I mean, you're young enough where there's, thankfully you haven't had any really, had to go through a ton of, I wouldn't say you have been through trials and tribulations, but you haven't gone through like a couple of the dark paths that we've heard on a couple other pods. And man, I mean, you for 21, you sound like you're my age, 34 years old, and been around for so long. And I think that's a testament to what your parents have done. And I've worked with Joe, and I've worked with your mom Dee Dee, and I mean, it's a great family. And I'm just so stoked you were able to be on the pod. You won your championships, and you were able to tell your story.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, boys, and just super excited to finally get to sit down with you and kind of share my story. And more than anything, we're 44 days till Daytona-ish, somewhere around there, 43 days. I'm just pumped. Finally get to make this step up to the big bike. And just want to, say a real quick thank you to George Latis for giving me this shot again on a big bike. Bob Lamphere, Service Pro, Harley Davidson, everybody involved with this program. I'm super excited to work with Dave Zanatti and Michelle DeSalvo. And we're ready.
We'll be watching. Stoked. Thanks, boys.
Sweet.